top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
Hey, remember that good idea that Sam Page had, the county executive, last week, where he said the city and the county should join forces?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the county council said, no, we're not doing that. They approved the resolution opposing a city-county merger of any kind, at least for the foreseeable future, quote, unquote.
Do they have that power? Maybe,
I guess for now.
Also, the Federal Reserve is doing what it does, which is constantly making decisions about interest rates. So how will the war affect this decision? Well, we're very excited to have Dave Simons, partner and managing director of One Private Wealth, join us at 10 a.m.
And Venezuela defeated the United States in the World Baseball Classic last night to win their first title. So the WBC is over. What's the problem? Why are you making that face?
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay. So Venezuela defeated the United States in the WBC. That is over, so we can focus on the end of spring training.
How happy are you? Because you were kind of a curmudgeon about the World Baseball Classic. You were over it.
Am I happy that it's over?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a cool event for itself, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the games can be fun. I enjoy seeing players really excited about it. The Venezuelans were, just so intense about it. I think that's pretty cool. But hey, man, the major league season is the thing that matters. So let's get that rolling and get back to it.
I don't know that there's too many people in St. Louis County that don't want to have conversations on how we can deliver services more efficiently and effectively. I've spoken to a lot of people in the last week, a lot of leaders in the community, and I would encourage them to keep the conversation going, not just with me, but with each other on more effective ways we can deliver services in St. Louis County.
That is County Executive Sam Page yesterday, as the county council had a vote 4-3 in favor of opposing any sort of structural reunification, any sort of merger or re-entry of St. Louis City into the county. And one Democrat, Shalonda Webb, joined that effort. And it was introduced by Dennis Hancock, a Republican councilman out of Fenton. So, look, I don't think anybody who's listened to this show knows how I feel about the city and the county. I think it was one of the great mistakes in history of this city 150 years ago, that great divorce that we always talk about, because it has ramifications now still and has set us back as a region for decades and decades, and has allowed other regions in the Midwest to bypass us. It's that simple. But I am also not so naive as to think that Sam Page brings this up last week and then suddenly we're going to start moving forward with some kind of merger or some kind of reentry. I get that, but this 4-3 resolution cannot be the end of it forever. And I know they said in the resolution that for the foreseeable future, there will not be any discussions about this. Okay. I think we could have a talk about foreseeable future, because probably in the next couple of years, we should start seriously talking about this again. And I'm glad that it is out there in the forum, in the public forum, so that people can maybe start talking about it again, because it would be a very good idea for us to figure out a way to join forces with the county.
Yeah.
Because it is, as much as folks in the county or even beyond it want to feel like it's, hey, St. Louis is a separate entity and it is not our problem. It is your problem. The city is your problem, because if St. Louis City is weak, the county is weak, and the suburbs beyond the county are also weak. So the only way, in my opinion, that we can strengthen our position is for all of us to join forces. And I hope that this is not the actual end of the conversation.
If you're from South County, if you're from Wildwood, if you're from St. Charles, and you go out of town and you go vacation somewhere and people ask you where you're from, you say St. Louis. We all say St. Louis. And
You're not saying Fenton.
When people from out of town, talk about the St. Louis area, even if it's the suburbs, even if it's St. Charles, they know it as St. Louis. They don't know what St. Charles is. They don't know what Fenton is. If you're a company, if you are employees of that company and you're moving to this area, you know St. Louis, you think of St. Louis, you think of downtown, and as goes downtown, so goes the surrounding areas. That's just the way it is. And I mean, we know this. Steve Ellman, St. Charles County executive, has talked about that, saying, hey, if St. Charles is doing okay for now, don't fall for that snapshot fallacy that somehow St. Charles operates independently of St. Louis, because it doesn't. We're all connected, and that's why we want to be proactive. I think a big part of it, Ranj, comes down to the transparency of the effort to join the county and the city, the execution of it, the structure of it, the framework of it, because Better Together years ago was kind of a behind closed doors effort. And I was actually kind of against it, primarily on principle, because we didn't really know how it would look. I mean, it was all pretty secretive. There was no transparency, and you have to get people on board if you're going to do something like make an effort. And so
Steve Stenger was going to get way too much authority in that.
And I think it was like Rex Singfield right behind that with behind closed doors. There just wasn't any transparency, and maybe it would have been great. And, you know, but I don't know, because it just seemed very secretive. And like you said, Steve Stenger, then he was in prison in South Dakota. But at any rate, it's all about how it's executed, but you do need to get people on board. You do need to have buy-in. And I get it. It's a tough sell. It will be a tough sell. What I hope is that it's a sell that we can make to the county and the city in time for it to be considered proactive rather than reactive. And you could say that we're already past that line. We're already reactive, but things could get worse. The city could get worse. The county could get worse. We could start hemorrhaging residents, and you don't want that. So I hope that we can try to take steps to turn it around before it gets really bad.
One thing that could force our leaders to head down this path in some form or fashion is to recognize that we need to do this. Now, we can argue about the details, just exactly how it is going to look in the future, and it will probably get messy. And you know what? It probably should be messy, because an undertaking of that size is not going to happen cleanly, and it's naive to think it is. But what I hope people do is at least recognize that, yeah, we got to do something here. We have to make this happen, whether it is simple reentry into the county, whether it is a complete merger of all of our services, where it's just one big entity. Whatever it is, I think that we should recognize that it needs to happen. And, you know, comparing our city to others in the region, and when I say region, I mean Midwest, really, or, you know, you start to get closer to the western states and, you know, past Kansas City and, you know, Omaha and all of that. I'm talking about the middle of the country here, really. When you compare us to the rest of the middle of the country, pretty much every region is making progress. We are really about the only one that's not making a whole lot of progress. And if we can just recognize that it's not just, oh, those Democratic city leaders, stop, you know, that's the problem. We need to get past that, because it isn't the only problem. There are a lot of problems, and it's city, it's county, it's everybody. If collectively we can recognize we have to do this in order to stop the bleeding and then move forward, great. We can then argue about the details, about how it's going to look when we finally do it. But there just needs to be a recognition on all of our part that we have to do this.
We have a texter. I was saying, wherever you're from, Fenton, St. Charles, Chesterfield, Wildwood, you would say, you know, I'm from St. Louis. A 314 says, wrong, Amy. I used to say St. Louis. Now I say west of St. Louis, which, okay. I mean, that's weird, fair. And maybe people are doing that, but you did used to say St. Louis, which I think helps. You know, that's the point.
Kind of proves your point.
That we used to say St. Louis. Maybe you change it now, but growing up and for the past few decades, we've always said St. Louis.
I think the point Amy's making is, if you said, I'm from Wentzville, to anybody, they'd say, okay, where the hell is that?
And even if you said, I'm and Ranj knows about this, like with Chicago, and people are from Chicago, but they're from like Naperville.
Oh, yeah,
They
that's a
say-
whole thing.
That's
up
a
there.
whole thing up there. But even if you said I'm from west of Chicago, I would probably just say he's from Chicago. I'm not, in my head, I don't care. Most people, if you say St. Louis or west of St. Louis to people from out of town, they're just going to think St. Louis.
Right.
They're not going to
Right.
really care that you're west or south of St. Louis.
And so that includes business leaders
Mhm.
from somewhere else.
Mhm.
So what their opinion of St. Louis is their
Mhm.
opinion of your suburb too, and whether or not they want to conduct business here.
And like I said, I will just say this. I was in Israel in 2018 when Iran did bomb Israel for the first time through proxies through Syria for the first time since the Yom Kippur War. And so I was in Israel and I went on a run with a run club in Tel Aviv. And they said, "Oh, where are you from?" And I said, "St. Louis." And half the run club said, "Oh my gosh, isn't it super dangerous there?"
Yeah.
Like they thought it was dangerous.
Amy Marks Coors, Chris Ranji on the Chris and Amy show. Hey, man, it's good to have you with us here on
great.
this Wednesday.
Beautiful Wednesday.
Good. Hopefully you were recovered from the St. Patrick's Day parades that took place yesterday and are listening to this show. We're going to make your day even better on the Chris and Amy show on KMOX.
I actually know how to make your day great. That is go to The Only Facial, theonlyfacial.com. Super easy to make an appointment. And if the idea of facials kind of overwhelm you or intimidate you, as they used to for me, The Only Facial is for you. They have one facial that they do, and they go through all the steps, tell you all the steps they're going to do. It's $125. That's it. That includes gratuity. So you don't have to worry about the stress of, oh, how much do I have to tip? You also don't have to worry about being pressured into buying products. They don't sell any products there. That's great. It makes it so stress-free. And I also got some services done that I'd never had done before that I really wanted to try, but didn't, really know how to approach that, like dermaplaning, where it takes off the dead skin cells off the surface of your skin, and microderm abrasion. And after going to The Only Facial a couple of weeks ago, my skin was glowing. I can't wait to go back because you make progress time after time. Okay, there's a location near you: University City, De Pere, Clayton, Sunset Hills, Frontenac, Creve Coeur, streets of St. Charles. It's so easy to make an appointment at theonlyfacial.com.
We get it. Attention spans just aren't what they used to be. Heads in social media and eyes on Netflix. But what do people do with their ears? Well, for one, they're listening to audio. Americans spend 4.4 hours with audio every day. Oh, and you want the proof? Well, you just sat through this ad that's now approaching 30 seconds. What could you say to a potential customer in 30 seconds? Let Odyssey put together a media plan tailor-made for your unique marketing needs. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Indian psychic and spiritual healer in St. Louis. Call 314-574-2667. Expert specialist in reuniting loved ones and husband and wife issues, family problems, and unnatural health and sickness, business and job-related issues. Special remedies to deal with negative energy, love spells, black magic issues, evil energies, and curse removal. Performs all types of spiritual prayers to heal the negative energy, balance the chakras, and much more. Contact Master Raj at 314-574-2667.
Giddy up! It's the Cardinal Cowboy. Is your garage door past its prime? Get a free repair or replacement quote from Renner Garage Door. Renner is America's oldest family-owned garage door company that serves both wholesale and retail markets. Right now, get $100 off a new garage door when you mention this ad. With trusted brands like Delden, Amar, LiftMaster, you know it's built to win. Renters also hire experienced techs and installers. RenterDoorSTL.com. Forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
You can feel the Clydesdales circling the field. Hear the stands come alive. Smell the hot dogs, the popcorn, and cold beer in the air. See the crowd rise as the first pitch hits the glove. And just like that, a new season begins. The countdown is on until opening day, and tickets start at just $49. Don't miss St. Louis's favorite holiday. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/opening day.
Swings, and it's a high fly ball. That's hit deep. It's a gunner! It's a gunner! And a game winner!
Start the season in style on Saturday, March 28th. The Cardinals welcome the Tampa Bay Rays for a spring showdown downtown. That day, you can score a lightweight Cardinals pullover, a navy blue look built for early season nights, and easy everyday wear. Comfortable, classic, and ready for cool evenings at the ballpark. It's a layer you'll reach for all season long. Get tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
One city, one voice. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
We'd love for you to participate in our Barch Madness tournament, which is basically underway with our Thirst 4 as we look for the best bar in the St. Louis area. That includes the Illinois side of the river. And we took your submissions over the last several weeks, and the selection committee got together and put together the field of 68. Technically, because we do have the Thirst 4 games going on right now. Last night and today.
Yeah, I think the committee did a fine job.
So what we're looking for at the moment, we're going to open up the full tournament starting tomorrow.
Thursday.
Yeah, tomorrow is already Thursday. Can you believe it?
I can, because this week feels like a long week for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like it's flying by.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
It is.
Can you believe it?
I can't. So what we're right now doing is we have basically the play-in. This is the play-in tournament, and we have 4 matchups that are ongoing right now. This is why you have to follow us at Chris Amy KMOX on Twitter. You have to, because it's the only way to vote in this tournament. So our 16 seed matchups for right now, our play-in tournament, Trainwreck Saloon, Rock Hill versus Trainwreck in Westport going up against each other. We have Hurricanes in Collinsville competing against the Pump House in Wood River. The Post Maplewood versus the Post Fenton. I've never been to the Post Fenton, I don't think.
I have not either. And so I feel like I'm biased towards the Maplewood one.
I can't remember if I've been to the one in Maplewood either.
Really?
I know I've been to the one in Creve Coeur, which was snubbed.
It was snubbed.
Creve Coeur Post was snubbed in this tournament.
You can't be greedy, though. 3 locations.
And our final 16 seed matchup, it is Sasha's Wine Bar on DeMun versus Hooters South County.
You got to vote, people. You cannot crab about the results if you don't vote.
That's right.
This is basically the primary right now.
Yes.
We're in the primaries.
If you don't like who the 16 seeds are, that's your fault for not voting.
100% on you.
At Chris Amy KMOX on Twitter. This voting is live, and then the full tournament will be opened up tomorrow. Our top seeds in the tournament, just to remind you, these are our number 1 seeds in our Barch Madness tournament. McGurk's and Soulard, Fast Eddie's Bon Air in Alton, Amsterdam Tavern, and O.B. Clark's.
I love it.
All number 1 seeds.
Those are winners. Those are all great number 1 seeds. And this is your last day to vote, because by the time the show starts tomorrow, it will be too late to vote on the play-in round.
That's right.
Yeah.
You have to vote in the Thirst 4 tournament now.
Now, the Thirst 4. And then tomorrow, are we just calling it the field of 64. Remember when we did the Field of 6440?
That was our best.
That might have been the best thing we've ever done on the show ever.
Well, no, this one's called Barch Madness.
That's we've gone downhill. Barch Madness.
I think
you know
it's
what it
very
is?
funny.
Barch is such an unpleasant word.
Right.
Like,
Well, it could have been Barf Madness, and we're not doing that.
we're not doing Barch
No.
Madness. That would be gross.
Yeah, I like this one.
That's like from The Office. R is a menacing sound. That's why it's called murder and not muck duck.
That's really something.
Yeah, anyway. So follow us at Chris Amy KMOX. I voted.
I voted too. I also voted. I'm a little concerned about one of the
I am
matchups.
too. I know which one you're concerned about.
I have a
And
bad feeling.
Don't tell them. They got to go.
I'm not going to tell them. I just have a bad feeling that
I know.
something is going to happen and
I do
people are
too.
going to be upset
Yep.
again. And I'm telling you, we are not trying to upset you.
No.
I promise
Which
you
I know
we're not trying to upset you.
historically, historic evidence might implicate otherwise. You might look at previous tournaments and think, I think they are trying to upset us. And I understand that.
I swear to you, we're not.
I know
And actually,
we're not.
it's kind of your fault.
100% your
The
fault.
Sandwich Pascandal was your fault.
Yeah. It was.
The
Sandwich. I thought the Sandwich Scandal was actually a lady's fault who moved out of town after that.
What?
Yeah, the Sandwich Scandal was the fault of one of our team members, and she had to leave the state.
I don't think so. No, this was the listener's
Yeah.
fault.
Last year was definitely the listener's fault.
Yes, definitely with the Alfonso's, the pizza tournament,
Yeah.
the Mott's Madness tournament that we did.
Yeah.
Yes, that was also the fault of the
technically,
listeners.
our research team could have checked on the spelling and locations, technically,
Well,
but they didn't because they trusted the listener, and we have learned our lesson.
that's a never. I never trust these people. Not once. Well, like,
But I
trust
get
these
how you
people.
would think. I think you are trying to upset us. I get how it looks like. It does look like that.
We are not.
We're not.
So go ahead and vote for us, or vote for. And yeah, actually vote for us too. Did you nominate us for the A-list?
I think they did.
Did they?
Yeah.
If they didn't, I swear.
No,
it's gonna
do
be
not
really bad.
threat. No threats. You
All
remember
right.
what Steve said about threats?
He said, "Don't do it on my watch, but go ahead if you want to when you're off the air."
That's right.
All right. At Chris Amy KMOX, you need to go there to vote in the Thirst 4, and then we'll have the full tournament. Barch Madness will continue in its entirety tomorrow.
Mhm.
Cannot wait to get to tomorrow. So at Chris Amy KMOX on Twitter.
Please vote.
Speaking of the tournament, the actual big dance, you know that one? The one that's going on right now. In fact, it started last night with their first 4. A couple of pretty good matchups, close games. And right now, FanDuel is dropping bonus bets into everyone's account for the tournament. So all you have to do is opt in to claim that bonus. You can use them on your bracket picks, money lines, spreads, totals, game props. If you want to do a same game parlay, well, you can do that too. The thing is, you're not going to want to wait because the bonus bets are only available for a short period of time. You need to go to FanDuel.com/Missouri, FanDuel.com/Missouri. FanDuel, it's time to dance. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus, $500 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey guys, it's Dave from The Glover Show, trying to explain The Glover Show. So when I was a younger man, I used to go to happy hour almost every night, and I loved it. And I've always thought of my show as being like happy hour. It's always interesting. It's often silly, but not always. You know, there are real things to talk about amongst friends, politics, and personal things. So that's what it is, really. It's happy hour for thousands of us every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. And I hope you'll tune in and join the happy hour.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
42 degrees, beautiful outside Studio B, mostly sunny and pleasant today. Get this, Chris Ranji's favorite temperature, 65 degrees.
Yeah.
Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 41. Weather sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
If you need a new appliance, this is your sign. Shop at Lowe's now to get up to 35% off and next-day delivery on hundreds of major appliances. A new appliance now means an easier to-do list later. Our best lineup is at Lowe's. Valid through 3/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Order by 4 p.m. Available Monday through Saturday. Subject to availability. Fees, exclusions, and restrictions apply. See Lowes.com/appliance delivery for more details.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees when used as directed. Spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast.
Pump up the volume.
When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Bernie Miklas here for Saliga Heating and Cooling. Our family's called the Saliga family for 18 years, and we are grateful for Saliga's honesty, knowledge, and professionalism. They're the best. For more info, visit SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
It's Cardinals preseason exhibition play today as they face the Astros. Pregame 11:55, first pitch 12:05. And you can hear the game here on your voice of the St. Louis Cardinals, KMOX.
Ranj, we have a new SLU YouGov poll.
I love a good SLU YouGov poll.
I do too.
Right?
Why don't they call it SLUGov?
Okay.
I think we know why. At any rate, it looked at a variety of issues facing Missouri voters. And I want to start with this one, which is data centers, because last night in Franklin County, data center opponents spoke for 10 hours. The meeting ended. It was called at 4:39 a.m. this morning, but 174 residents of Franklin County spoke for up to 3 minutes each. The vast majority were opposing the data centers that have been proposed for Pacific and Gray Summit. One of those, remember, being near the Shaw Nature Reserve.
Right.
And we talked about the findings from conservationists that they do believe a data center next to the Shaw Nature Reserve would harm some of the flora and fauna there. But
And you know how I feel about flora and fauna.
I thought you weren't great about flora, but loved fauna.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's how I thought. I feel like it was where I had two aunts, Aunt Flora and Aunt Fauna. At any rate, that is some real dedication from the residents of Franklin County. Susanna Bullock, was talked to the commissioners there. This was reported in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. She said, "Why are we here at 4 a.m? I think we're staying around because we want to look you in the eyes if you do something unseemly."
Okay.
I love that.
That's so.
That
she's
is
like, I'm on to you,
I am
pal.
on to you. I am going to look you directly in the eyeballs if you try to do something unseemly.
Mhm.
And if Susanna Bullock will let me steal that phrase, I'm going to start using that. I love that.
I'm so.
I want to look you in the eyes if you do something unseemly.
And then what are you going to do?
Yeah. And then Elizabeth Bennett, is that really her name from Pride and Prejudice? Elizabeth Bennett was there, and she said, great name, "I really love my sleep, but I love my community more, and that's why I'm still here at 4 a.m. This is real dedication from a community. I don't think we should overlook how big of a deal it is that this many people stayed and went to that meeting.
Till 4:30 in the morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
These
are people either retired without jobs or night shift people who got the day off, and whatever it is, they're committed because they could be doing anything but that, and most likely sleep.
There does look to be, from some of the pictures in the newspaper, that maybe there is a big contingent of retirees.
Yeah.
But this might be the longest that a data center meeting has gone on in this country. This is from James Boyle, a resident. Everyone in the bleachers is a patriot. We stayed here the whole night. To be honest, good on them. Like, whether or not you're for data centers, I am really impressed that this many people showed up and that they were committed, because I feel weak compared to these people.
Well,
I think
I'd
have to clock out. I'd be so tired.
I appreciate commitment because it takes commitment to make sure, I think, that your community thrives wherever that is. That means everybody has to care, or more people than not need to care. Otherwise, it's just, it's not what it could be. And so whether or not I agree with the community, I would prefer that everybody be engaged in it.
And remember, not all data centers are created equal. There are small, medium, and large data centers. We have data centers downtown already. We have data centers in Chesterfield. There's that nice building across from where Chesterfield Mall used to be, kind of still is falling down. But it's a really nice glass building. They do telehealth there, but several floors of that is a data center. You would never know. You would never know the dozen data centers that are here downtown. And when I say that not all of them are created equal, I do think some of the dystopian monstrosities that we see in rural areas, those could be more problematic, right, than the ones that are integrated into an existing city infrastructure, depending on water and electricity and so forth. And I also think with Franklin County, if it is going to negatively impact Shaw Nature Reserve, I get that too. Or if you moved out to Franklin County because you want to be out in the country, you want to enjoy nature, and a giant humming warehouse of a data center is suddenly plopped next to your property, I could see how that would be really frustrating.
Yeah, the problem, though, is we need them because of the way we're going, the direction we're going, the amount of data that we consume, and how much more we're going to need. And I know there's a lot of pushback against artificial intelligence, and we do quite a bit of it on this show, but it's unavoidable, I think, that regardless of how pervasive AI becomes, and I think it's going to be very pervasive, we're going to need all these data centers out there. So it can't just be a thing where we're NIMBYing all over the place, because somewhere they're going to have to be built, right? Like, they're going to have to go somewhere. Otherwise, we're just going to fall behind.
So Sarah Fenske wrote about this SLU YouGov poll in St. Louis Magazine, and she spoke with the poll director, Stephen Rogers. Now, the data center question in the poll was actually inspired by Donnybrook on PBS, Charlie Brennan, because Joe Holloman, who's often a panelist on Donnybrook, he suggested that a lot of data center opponents talk about being angry about AI or broader environmental issues. But Joe Holloman said he believes mainly people just don't want data centers in their own backyards. And that was shown in the poll, because the poll asked questions about how you feel about data centers, where they are. The poll found that 49% of Missouri respondents opposed data centers in their community. The opposition drops to 44% when the question is about the entire state. So fewer people are opposed to the data centers in the state in general, and they're more opposed to the data centers in their own communities. And Democrats and young people are more opposed overall to data centers. So even though 37% of Republicans oppose them in their own communities.
And the poll director, Stephen Rogers, spoke about what transpired here.
And so what we did in this poll is we actually did something like a little bit of an experiment where we split our sample, and then we asked this question in two different ways. We asked if people were supportive or opposing of building data centers, but we asked half of individuals if build a data center in your community, Then the other half of individuals building a data center in the state of Missouri. And then in this, what we found is that pretty much only about 31% of voters supported building a data center either in their community or in the state of Missouri. However, where it gets a little bit more interesting is when we look at the opposition numbers. And so when we looked at people who were opposed, 44% of Missourians were opposed to building a data center in the state of Missouri, but 49% were opposed in their local community. And then here, what you can kind of think about is like, well, okay, I may use ChatGPT or I may use Claude or something like that, and I need a data center for it. Well, let's go build it somewhere else in Missouri and not necessarily in my community. And then to dig again a little bit deeper in here, the voters who seem to be most opposed to, like, say, those data centers in their local community are these suburban voters.
Stephen Rogers, again, the poll director, not Captain America, talking with Megan Lynch on Total Information AM.
Yeah, and I was listening to Total Information AM yesterday. Megan Lynch had an extended conversation with Stephen Rogers, and it was very, very interesting. And you can go back on the Odyssey app and listen to it. And so they talked about data centers. Megan Lynch also asked. Oh, go ahead.
Well, Aim, let me make this point about the number that he presented. The 49% of respondents opposed them in their own community. 44% opposed them statewide. So you know what that says to me? That it's only a 5% difference. So the vast majority of the people who oppose them, they don't like them at all. It doesn't matter if it's in their own backyard or if it's downstate somewhere or in some rural area that doesn't affect them. They just don't want them.
And I wonder, too, how that number will be affected as we learn more about data centers, because I was a persuadable voter, right, when it came to data centers, and I was just opposed to them. And then talking to Stephen Richer, who was the Maricopa County Recorder, he writes for the Dispatch now, and just learning more about the different types of data centers, I'm persuadable, but I do think it's a case-by-case basis.
I completely agree.
Yeah. And so I wonder, as more information comes out, as we become more familiar with them, I wonder how that number changes, if at all. Who knows? But Megan Lynch, like I said, had an extended conversation yesterday. You can listen on the Total Information AM podcast. But she also asked about the poll numbers and what they revealed about Missouri voters and their approval or disapproval of President Donald Trump.
And so here, for example, Trump's approval is now about 52-47. And this is about down 4 points from our poll that we did last February. But it's interesting if we kind of dig into these numbers a little bit more, because while the approval rating overall is only down 4%, there's a little bit of difference when we look at those strong approvers and then just those approvers. So, for example, Donald Trump's strong approval numbers are actually down about 12%. And so those strong approvers seem to be largely shifting over into the approval category, meaning that maybe some of Trump's supporters are softening a little bit on his support.
Yeah, and I think that's the number, the approval, the strongly approve. Those who strongly approve of the president dropped from 42% to 30%, which is a significant drop in a very red state, a state where Donald Trump won handily.
Yeah, I guess I'm not entirely surprised, though, that the support overall is still there pretty strongly. That's a 30%. I mean, that's a third. I mean, yes, 12% is nothing. Losing 12% is significant. It's statistically significant, but there's still that 30%. And we talk about this all the time, that I just don't think I don't think those folks can be persuaded otherwise. So there's a hardcore 30%, and that's the end of that, right?
Yeah. And this is
no matter what state you're in. So like Missouri, for it to still be there at 30% is not surprising.
It's really interesting. You know, you can't always use a broad brushstroke. I know President Trump has kind of thrown a hiccup in how we look at voters in general. And some things are consistent, some things aren't. And I say that because I'm looking at Governor Mike Kehoe. Now, approval numbers for Mike Kehoe barely budged. 47% of voters approve of him. That's down from 50, but there's also a 3% error rate, right? So it barely budged. 47% of voters currently approve of him. That's down from 50% last year. What's interesting is that the disapproval ratings have shot up 11% to 42%, as both Democrats and independents' approval of him plummeted. And I do think that might be a direct correlation to maybe some of the president's more controversial policies like ICE and redrawing congressional district maps, because we did see a lot of disapproval about that. Governor Kehoe was respected by both Republicans and Democrats, relatively speaking, right? But now, after he's been a year in office, and he's also had to respond to some of Trump's more controversial policies, my guess is that's why the disapproval has shot up. The congressional maps was a big deal.
Well, and this is, I think, a really important lesson for anybody who will wonder why we would talk about President Trump and, that's national politics, focus on something more local. Well, that affects Kehoe, right? Mm-hmm. What Donald Trump does will affect other Republicans around the country, including here in Missouri. Now, does that mean that Kehoe, if he was up for re-election, is in danger of losing? No, probably not. But it is something to definitely keep an eye on. And it is an indication that what the very top of the leadership does affects everybody else, affects everybody in the party.
And before we get to break here, the new congressional maps that were drawn by lawmakers at the behest of President Trump, these maps are likely to give the GOP another congressional seat. That's why they were redrawn. So keeping that
here in Missouri.
Yes, keeping that in mind, that they would give the GOP another congressional seat. Just 41% of voters approved of these new maps. 11% of Republicans were opposed, and they know that this is important. 52% of independents were opposed. And those independents are also a lot of times those persuadable voters.
That's right. And I'm curious to see how this is going to affect things when we get to November, where, again, that has nothing to do with Governor Kehoe. I'm just wondering how this is going to play out when the midterms actually happen this year, which will have ramifications for all of us. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. We are glad that you're hanging out with us. Don't forget to vote in our Thirst for tournament. Right now, we need you to go to @ChrisAmyKMOX. We're trying to find the best bar in the St. Louis area, and the big tournament starts tomorrow. But we need those 16 seeds. We need those winners. Got to go to our Twitter account @ChrisAmyKMOX. Did you see this? Is next.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
St. Louis's unofficial holiday is almost here. It's Cardinals opening day, Thursday, March 26th. And KMOX's Takes and Eggs, presented by Budweiser, is back. This year with a new twist. You don't need a ticket to enjoy KMOX's live broadcast at Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village, featuring Cardinals alumni, front office personnel, special guests, and so much more. First come, first serve. Doors open at 9 a.m. Celebrate opening day with dirt cheap Budweiser and Rally House. More info at KMOX.com/events.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents. So when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Okay, I have some really good news. While we do have the 0% a lot, we do have it on our regular products because you will be unbelievably shocked, especially if you call me and I'll give you the straight up scoop on how much money you can actually save by if you spent $20,000 versus $10,000 on a system. The difference could be as little as, I don't know, let's just say, not to exaggerate, 5 cents. So be careful out there, and always remember your energy savings is based on your house. It is not based on the equipment. So common sense advice and help and guidance. Again, call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. The easiest, 314-293-2600. Again, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, that is bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. But our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
All right, I find this really interesting. A story in the Wall Street Journal. For the first time ever, retail leasing space has more service-oriented tenants than good-based retails, meaning there are more spas and gyms and fitness studios and salons leasing retail space than there are stores, like selling stuff. We've never had that before. So service-based tenants leased just over 50% of total retail square footage in 2025. 15 years ago, service tenants accounted for only 40% of total leasing. And the director at the U.S. Retail Analytics, CoStar, said that consumer dollars remain firmly pointed at services. So when you go to strip malls and you're looking at different spas, massage, fitness studios,
nail salons.
Yeah,
does that count?
Their
Okay.
services now fill more space than goods. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, and I
never
I don't
thought
know,
about it before, but it's really interesting.
I guess, okay, and I don't know how much it matters unless it is okay. I'm when I say this, I am thinking very specifically of one intersection in St. Louis, and that is Maryland and Euclid in the Central West End. Okay. First of all, would you consider a restaurant bar? That's not considered. Is that considered service?
No,
they
don't. They're not including that in this.
Okay.
This is service tenants, which is different than restaurant and food.
Okay, good. So because when you have an intersection like that in what is a walkable neighborhood, or a neighborhood where you should get people to come and hang out, right? Like that's what I think those intersections should be. it always drove me nuts. Like, there used to be a business called Coffee Cartel there, which
24 hours.
I loved Coffee Cartel. And my understanding is the people who owned it were retiring and just didn't want to do it anymore. And I just wish they would have sold it and let somebody else take over. The 24-hour coffee shop was the best. And they replaced it with a skincare store.
Yeah.
Like, that's boring.
Yeah. Well,
you know,
and that
you know what I
probably,
mean?
that might even be just selling stuff, right?
Yeah, just selling stuff. So that is retail, right? But when I think of these things, I have a very specific viewpoint about very specific parts of neighborhoods. What I think those businesses in certain areas should be, right? Just because I want us to create more hangout spots.
Well,
and not fewer hangout spots.
Yeah, that would need to be, I think, bars, coffee, and restaurants, but not in the food industry. Basically, they said one, which we all know, e-commerce, right? Stores can sell online. They don't need the space that they used to have to sell sweaters, shoes, and office supplies. But also wellness. The wellness industry is exploding in the U.S. It was $2.1 trillion in 2024. So you can have shops that are lasers, IV hydration, vitamin infusions, Botox, red light therapy, cryotherapy. All of this wellness is exploding. And so, you don't need a ton of space to sell jeans, but you need space for services.
Also, as we hit the break, did you see that the Washington Post, according to reporting, and I have heard similar things, that the Washington Post is working to bring back their sports department after shutting it down like a month ago? Because it was highly unpopular and a lot of people canceled their subscriptions because there's no sports anymore in the Washington Post, no local sports, national sports. And so people revolted, and now it looks like the paper's trying to hire those folks back. This is according to reporting out there.
What in the world?
Stupid. That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. This is KMOX, hour 2 of the show. Next.
Spring cleaning is upon us, but there's one meaningful box that you don't throw away when cleaning out your closet. It's the box filled with your family's important videotapes, film reels, and photos. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago to help families organize and update their analog media to digital.
Legacy Box is simple and easy. It works and is safe. Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box.
And Legacy Box has been featured in Good Housekeeping, The Today Show, and Rachel Ray.
Legacy Box is like magic, converting your shoebox of memories to the cloud or thumb drive, ready to watch and share.
Declutter your closet by digitizing your media. Become more organized and accomplished, knowing your family's recorded past is safe forever. Take advantage of our spring cleaning sale going on now. It's the easiest task to check off your to-do list.
For a limited time, you can get started for just $9 a tape. Visit legacybox.com/radio to get our $9 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to get our $9 offer. Legacybox.com/radio.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here, and it is time for the madness in FanDuel Sportsbook, which is the official sportsbook here at KMOX. Mine as well. Right now, they're doing everything they can to amp up the excitement of the month of March in college basketball as well. What FanDuel's doing is they're dropping bonus bets into everyone's account for the tournament. So all you have to do is opt in to claim your bonus. You can use them on the same games that you're picking in your bracket, right? You can use them on money lines and spreads, totals, game props, same game parlays, parlays. And remember that these bonus bets are only available for a limited time. So you want to visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to learn more. And of course, with FanDuel Sportsbook, even if your bracket goes out early, you don't have to. You can continue to play along and have fun throughout the tournament. FanDuel, it is time to dance. Just remember, you have to be 21 or older and present in Missouri. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $500 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
It is 10 o'clock and the clouds have moved out of downtown. We've got sunshine and 45 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Senator Markwayne Mullin made his case today to become the next Secretary of Homeland Security. During the confirmation hearing, Senate Homeland Security Committee Chair Rand Paul took his fellow Republican to task, calling out Mullin for saying he understood why Senator Paul was attacked by a neighbor.
Tell the world why you believe I deserve to be assaulted from behind, have 6 ribs broken and a damaged lung. Tell me to my face why you think I deserved it. And while you're at it, explain to the American public why they should trust a man with anger issues to set the proper example for ICE and Border Patrol agents.
Mullin testified he didn't know the full extent of Paul's injuries when he made that statement. We've long had your back. Now it's our turn. That's how President Trump is framing his demands that allies he's been disparaging now help him with the Iran war. He wants to call in IOUs for decades of U.S. security guarantees after a string of refusals, showing that European goodwill for Trump is very low. The gym at Union High School was packed last night as hundreds of people turned out for a Franklin County Planning Commission hearing where the main topic was plans for 2 massive data centers. According to the Post-Dispatch, more than 170 people got up to speak, and it took 10 hours. At least 800 people were in attendance, and more people had signed up to speak, but many left as the evening wore on. People were sleeping in the bleachers. Even a few commissioners dozed off. That meeting was adjourned around 4:30 this morning. No votes were taken. Reverend Stephanie Remington placed on leave pending review by the Missouri Conference of the United Methodist Church after it was discovered she worked as Jeffrey Epstein's administrative assistant and temporary property manager of his private island from August 2018 to May 2019. 2 months later, Epstein was arrested for sex trafficking crimes. Remington says she never saw Epstein or anyone commit abuse on the island, but says she was aware of Epstein's status as a sex offender. Basketball fans hoping to buy NCAA basketball tourney tickets should pay with a credit card, according to Josh Planos with the Better Business Bureau in Missouri. He says that's preferred over popular payment apps.
It's not to say that those payment methods aren't effective or useful, but you really don't have the same protections that you do with a credit card.
He says NCAA tournament time is also prime time for ticket scammers. From the KMOX business desk, analysts expect the Federal Reserve will not change interest rates after a policy meeting. CBS Morning Saturday co-host explains the factors at play for Chairman Jerome Powell and his colleagues.
They are in a pickle. You've got slowing growth in the job market, the potential for higher inflation. It is really tough for them to make a decision.
That Fed announcement is expected at 1 St. Louis time this afternoon.
Mostly sunny this afternoon and becoming noticeably warmer. The high 64, then partly cloudy tonight, low 45. Tomorrow, some clouds early, then becoming mostly sunny and even warmer, high 74. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, it's sunny and 45 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Giddy up! Cardinal Cowboy for Team Renner here, America's oldest family-owned garage door company, serving both wholesale and retail markets. Free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX. Time to look back at the way we were with Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Remember what it was like before there was somebody else up there who loved you? There was no such thing as executive class service to Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. With first-class legroom, free cocktails for everyone, and a schedule you could depend on. Remember?
Well, that sultry voice was a booty-shorted flight attendant.
Oh, really?
Yes. On the old Southwest Airlines, where the flight attendants, who I'm pretty sure they called stewardesses at the time, wore booty shorts. And
They did not wear booty shorts.
They did.
No, they did not.
I promise. Why would I make this up?
Because that's just
Not
what you
because
do.
I'm trying to tell you to vote for Hooters South County. No. Why did I make this up? No, I didn't. It's true. If you flew on Southwest when there were booty shorts, 314-436-7900. We need to hear from you.
And share your photos.
What, do you have to mail them Polaroids?
Yes. Yes.
And I mean, just imagine it. There's flight attendants in booty shorts. You're smoking a cigarette.
This is not
drinking a
cigarettes,
cocktail.
yes.
Yeah.
But you got a free cocktail. Now you just get
On your work
Coke.
computer, Ranj, on your work computer, please Google booty short flight attendant Southwest.
All right.
On your personal computer.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, I'd rather do it on the work computer.
Give them something to talk about.
I actually would love to explain to somebody what I was doing.
It was for research purposes.
I will say our work computers, as a quick side note, we have to Google a lot what's going on in the world. That search history has got to be out there. But at any rate, this is our The Way We Were segment. And we were looking back at airlines and flights because, yes, I was just sad that Southwest doesn't have their general boarding anymore. And now you have to pick your seat just like every other airline. It's depressing. Yes, did you find the booty short pictures?
Girl, I found them booty shorts. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, in the 70s.
Right?
These are real booty shorts.
I know.
Let's go
I mean,
Southwest.
wait, listen to that sultry voice. Is that still available? I mean, listen, this is a...
1 sec.
Okay, this is a flight attendant standing on the runway. A plane is taking off behind her. And I mean, and she really wants you to fly Southwest.
Remember what it was like before there was somebody else up there who loved you? There was no such thing as executive class service to Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. With first-class legroom, free cocktails for everyone, and a schedule you could depend on.
Damn, girl, I'm sold. I'll buy a flight.
She's actually standing on the she's standing on the runway, by the way, and an airplane flies overhead.
I don't even need to go anywhere. I'll buy a ticket. Yeah. Boy, this is okay. So Southwest went from these fine ladies in booty shorts to now I got to listen to them sing. I got to listen to them perform and be funny and folksy and kitschy. I got to listen to that now. And I don't get to pick my seat anymore. Well, I mean, you do it ahead of time, but I don't get to pick my seat when I arrive on the plane.
I know. We're not even doing it justice because they wore hot pants and high boots. We didn't talk about the boots.
That's right. They are wearing high boots.
Yeah.
This is, wow. I am stunned. This is what they did in the 70s, huh? And we decided to change things up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well, now I can understand why you might be a person who would find this offensive or inappropriate, but also grow up.
What if the men wore booty shorts and high boots too?
Fine. They can apply for my new business.
Like Reno 911?
Yes, they can apply for my company, which I am starting, the delivery service where everybody wears very tight shorts, and it is called Nice Package. And you can all be a part of it. I want to bring back some of these. I want to bring back some of the folks who were flight attendants on Southwest in the 70s wearing these shorts. I want them now. So the women who are in these photos in the 70s, if they are now 70 now or 80, they get to be in my business.
Retro night.
Yeah, retro night.
Yeah. No, what I'm sensing a theme here is that Ranj is overwhelmingly pro booty short, male or female. So maybe your platform could be, remember how when everybody was upset about Bud Light, and I came up with the rather clever campaign, Bud Lighten Up, which I think is a great campaign.
That was a really good campaign.
I think to Bud Lighten Up, what if instead of focusing on politics and administrations, what if you said, let's bring back booty shorts in all sorts of environments, corporate environments, airplanes, malls, delivery services, Do you think that would bring us together as a nation?
I would hope so, man. We got to do something. And maybe this would lead us in that direction. I think this is a larger conversation about services in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know what it costs to get on a flight in the 70s. I'm assuming it's a little more expensive than today.
Yeah, because the 70s were tough.
Right.
Gas was expensive. I'm assuming flights were expensive.
So I think that the services in a lot of cases have become more expensive, but also the service that you get has worsened.
Yes.
And I also imagine this is a complaint that has been made about everything for generations. You pay more now for stuff and you get less.
Yeah.
I think people have probably been complaining about that forever. But I do think there's a little truth to it now. And it could be something as simple as going to a fast food restaurant or, a place to get a simple, quick meal. I think that you're getting less and you're paying more. Grocery stores, the same thing. You're getting a bag of food.
It used to be, more service oriented. Even daily things. Back in the day, and I know New Jersey still does this, but you had gas pump jockeys who would pump your gas for you.
Oh, yeah.
And that was just something that was expected.
I'm thinking of a place when I was growing up in Granite City. It was right on the corner of a main intersection. It was called Gitcho's. And their sign said,
"Get your gas."
It'd say, "Get your gas at Gitcho's." And
really?
Yeah, and they would. I remember I was very, very young, and I remember pulling into the station. I mean, I wasn't driving, but we were pulling into the station, and somebody would come out, and they'd fill up the car, and you would just sit in it.
Well, we've become a very casual society and a very disposable society. Nothing's a big deal, and everything you can throw away. And I say that because, in some ways, yes, things have never been more convenient. Things have never been more accessible. We really, truly are living in an age where so much is available to so many people. However, certain things used to be a bigger deal. When you did fly, people dressed up. I mean, they wore, ties or skirts, in the same way that when you would go to a hockey game, people wore suit and ties to hockey games and baseball games. And my mom talks about, going to the famous bar or a department store, and you'd even kind of get dressed up. You weren't wearing athleisure. Didn't exist in the 60s and 70s, really. I mean, I guess the hot shorts did, but you dressed up. It was kind of an event to go to the department store. And I do miss a little bit of that. I mean, I know we're spoiled with how convenient things are, but I kind of like the event of it all. 314 says, flight attendants on Southwest did wear booty shorts. They also collected $1 on the way to Las Vegas with seat numbers written on the bill and then would draw a winner. That's fun.
Never heard of that.
We should do that again.
We should do that on this show, I think.
How come the women wore less clothes and the men wore more clothes? Men wore suits.
What do you mean? Why?
Smoking.
And the women wore the shorts.
Why do you think?
I know why, but it's just
who was
funny.
in charge? Who was in charge then?
Us.
That's right.
I've got an idea, men. What if we all wore suits to cover up our ugly bodies, but we made the women wear nothing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
You ever heard of a cummerbund?
What?
Yeah.
Yes. But see, that's why Ranj is a true feminist. He wants to put the men in booty shorts.
Damn right. Everybody should be in booty shorts. Let's even things out a bit. I don't mind.
Yeah. Shorter in the name of equality.
I completely agree. We have a text message here that reads, "You're getting less, paying more, and the people who serve you are making less. Our purchasing power has faded, and with it, a lot of the expectations." And I think that's exactly right.
Yes and no, though, because what I will say is our purchasing power has never been greater in the sense that televisions used to be very expensive and cell phones used to be very expensive.
For very specific items.
There's a lot.
For very specific items,
There's a lot of
though.
daily conveniences that are and luxuries and wonders of technology that are so affordable. It is more unusual not to have them. Everybody has a TV. You can get a big TV for a lot of money. So in some ways, so many products that used to be considered luxury are so affordable that you can buy them.
That's for very specific items, but overall purchasing power for people has gone down dramatically. The St. Louis Fed even put out this study. Well, actually, it was updated last month. It has gone down considerably just from the 1930s and has continued to decline. And it's sort of hit, it looks like, just looking at the graph here, it's sort of hit a wall in the early 1990s and has gradually declined since then. But purchasing power for people has gone down a lot in the last 70 or so years.
And I think, like you said, that would be for like housing, obviously education, those massive industries
Right.
versus technology and goods are way cheaper. But things like I just mentioned, living in your home, going to college have outpaced inflation and have outpaced wage growth.
Absolutely. But if you can't just look at goods independently. I mean, you have to think about all the stuff that you have to spend money on because you have a budget and you have to spend on smaller goods and larger goods and services and housing and so on and so forth. So it's all tied together. I mean, it doesn't really matter that I was about to use a defunct technology like a CD player. I like a TV. A TV used to be really, one. And some of them still are. Some of them are still very, very expensive, but you can get a relatively cheap television now when you didn't used to be able to. But overall, all of the things we have to buy, and I think including food, those things have become more expensive relative to what people are making. That's Amy Marks-Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. We will be talking to Alexa Datt at 10:30. Used to be Cardinals TV when it was FanDuel Sports Network, and now with the Nationals, but also covered the World Baseball Classic, or was at the World Baseball Classic game last night. We will speak to her at 10:30. We have a lot coming up on the show today. We hope you stick with us. Also, one other thing. We have the Gas House Gang tomorrow. We're off today because we have Cardinals baseball today, but Oliver Marmol rejoins the show for the 2026 season. Every Tuesday, we're going to start our Tuesdays with Ollie on the 31st. So March 31st will be our first show with Oliver Marmol every Tuesday on the Gas House Gang on KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Michael's Baths. Were you feeling a little embarrassed when the family came to visit for the holidays and all you could think about was your bathroom not quite being up to par? Now is the perfect time to plan ahead for a spring installation of a beautiful new bathroom. At Michael's Baths, we specialize in beautiful, safe bathroom remodels from tub to shower conversions to full renovations, including paint and electrical work. Call 636-775-0800 or go to michaelsbaths.com. Mike is a great guy, does great work. That's michaelsbaths.com.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. Dr. Jean Wang, a WashU Medicine gastroenterologist at Siteman Cancer Center.
Our young onset colorectal cancer center focuses on the problems that younger patients might have. And we pay attention to things like fertility, support with trying to manage childcare and caring for older parents during that time. It's a great resource for these younger patients.
Visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday. Let's do this Monday. ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to LendSeek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at LedermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Want to build income without a second job? Learn how real estate investing can help you create extra income one step at a time with Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Hey, Chris and Amy, this is Scott in Maryland Heights. Not quite moved out yet, but can you tell me why every municipality around us has a Walmart, a Home Depot, a Target, a Lowe's, restaurants? In Maryland Heights, they don't have any of that. I've asked you repeatedly, get a hold of the mayor and ask why the hell Maryland Heights can't build up the 141 Howard Bend Levy District. That's plenty of room for all that stuff I just mentioned.
Scott, I think the reason we have not done that is because I don't know if anybody in this room is too worried about it.
I had to Google who is the mayor of Maryland Heights.
You know whose fault this is?
It's the dumb inspector.
It's the Brian, the building inspector in Maryland Heights. He's the reason that you don't have these things. He's probably said no to all of them. So if you got a problem, Scott, you take it up with Brian, the Maryland Heights inspector, who everyone hates, from what I can tell. We've had so many complaints about him, and I still don't know what the guy looks like. But you can leave us voice messages like Scott did on our Odyssey app. It is very easy to use and fun, and we love it.
Maybe the mayor of Maryland Heights wants to leave a message or call in. Mayor Mike Moeller, I think, is how you say it.
I don't know.
I knew a Miller that was spelled that way, but I'm guessing it's Moeller.
I have to tell you, as
Mayor
much as
of Maryland Heights.
I love my Maryland Heights people.
Yeah.
And I really, truly do.
Okay.
I could not care less about
That's so selfish
what's going
of you.
on there.
That's
the
selfish.
mayor.
I thought you were supposed to care.
I got my own problems in my own neighborhood. I don't need to worry about Maryland Heights not having a Home Depot. Drive 10 minutes.
I care.
Do you?
Yes.
How much do you care?
A lot. I gotta
Is it that big of a deal to drive a little bit to a Home Depot?
Isn't Westport in Maryland Heights?
I think so.
They have a fine Starbucks
Yeah, so what are you
there.
complaining about? You got Westport Plaza. That's a cool, fun area.
They have KMOV.
They
Channel
do.
4. I'm going to Maryland Heights today to
They have
record offside hockey.
A giant gold glove on the roof, on the building.
Oh, my gosh, you're right. You know what's interesting is that Brian and the inspector approved that giant gold baseball glove, but didn't approve
the Home
Costco
Depot
and Home Depot.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Brian, you can call in.
I think Brian must be in the bag with Rawlings. Somebody.
Big baseball.
Mm-hmm. Baseball, by the way, the valuation for the sport, pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Just came out, actually. The valuations for teams, the Cardinals are valued at $2.6 billion. That is 13th of 30 teams in baseball. They're, and this is according to CNBC. They're right there in the middle of the pack with a revenue of $376 million in 2025, which puts them also right there in the middle of the pack at 16.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I know I want to get to another voicemail, correct? But right before we do, just on that note, the NHL has basically announced that if they're going to expand, and I don't know if they are, but if they do expand, it's a $2 billion buy-in.
Oh, for the
NHL
yes, to
and
buy a
hockey.
team.
And they're going to, they have the new CBA that's kicking in, but there's also projections that the salary cap for the NHL by 2030 could be like $130 million. Remember, hockey is different than baseball and football.
Right.
These numbers are astronomical. That blows my mind. It could be $130 million by 2030.
Well, it's only going to keep going up. And here's the reality about owning a professional sports franchise, especially the big four sports, NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL. And I say this all the time, but I do think it's worth repeating. Anytime you hear an owner of a team talk about risk and I mean, we're doing all of this and we can't afford this player because think of the risk that we are assuming. Every single owner in every one of these sports. So you're talking about a $2 billion buy-in for an NHL team. That owner or ownership group, by the time their ownership ends 10 years from now, 15, 20, 40 years from now, they will all make money on their investment. Every single one of them. If every single sports owner sold today, they would all make money on their investment. They would all make a profit.
Yeah. It's just interesting because hockey has always been so different, numbers wise. But
yeah, I mean, $2 billion, it seems like a good investment to me because 20 years from now or 15 years from now, play the long game, you're going to make a ton of money if you invest in that team.
Got a voice message from Terrence.
Hey, Chris and Amy show. Love the show. 3 quick comments. Doesn't WashU have a data center? And 2, did you guys decorate a car that was illegally parked? Saw an article on the news about that. And this is for Amy. When are you going to be back on Donnybrook? Thanks.
Well, let's work backwards on that.
Okay. I think I am returning to Donnybrook at the end of the hockey season.
Okay.
Yep.
Now let's work on this car thing.
I took a hockey break.
Were we in the news?
I know. Where did you see this? Because
this was 3 years ago.
I know. And it was one of our finest moments. We did decorate a car that had 5,000 parking tickets on it. It was also totaled. It was parked in front of our building, in front of a coffee shop that's no longer there. And so Ron...
They had to move because of the car.
I think so. The coffee shop asked repeatedly for the city to move the car. Nobody did anything. So Ron and I started decorating the car. I bought some Christmas decorations. I bought
put garland on it.
I had a star, a Christmas star tree topper.
We had just bought some new items to put on the car. We walked around the corner and the car was gone one morning. So we think that they took it away from us. And it wasn't to help the coffee shop.
No.
And it wasn't to beautify the streets. It was to spite us. That's why I think they removed the car finally.
I think they didn't want us to poo-poo the city's towing capabilities.
World Baseball Classic ended last night. There was this tournament with all kinds of intensity that has come to an end. And now it's time to get ready for the actual baseball season, which begins a week from tomorrow, at least for the Cardinals anyway. When we come back, we are going to talk with now Nationals TV reporter and studio host Alexa Datt. Used to be with the Cardinals. She was at the World Baseball Classic last night. We'll talk things over with her when we come back. And right now, the NCAA tournament, it's ongoing. You've seen the first couple of games happen last night. More coming tonight. Then the big dance really gets started tomorrow. And FanDuel is dropping bonus bets into everybody's account for the tournament. It's really great to get in on this. But what you have to do is opt in order to claim that bonus. You can use the bonus on your bracket picks, your if you want to go money lines, spreads, totals, game props, even if you're interested in the same game parlay, this is a good time to do it because the bonus bets are only available for a limited time, which means you have to log in, take advantage of it now because it will go away. FanDuel.com/Missouri to learn more. FanDuel.com/Missouri. Again, if you haven't even signed up yet, good time to do it. FanDuel, it's time to dance. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $500 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
St. Louis, can you feel it? It's back.
Welcome to opening day.
To tradition.
The majestic Budweiser Clydesdales.
The sound of baseball in the air.
A swing and a long one.
Thursday, March 26th is opening day. We show up. We wear red. We stand together. New season, fresh start. Your St. Louis Cardinals are ready. And all season long, every moment lives here. 104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of the Cardinals.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions. So it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Universal Windows Direct. March is that time of year when a lot of us start thinking about fresh start, spring cleaning, that kind of stuff. If you are in the market for replacement windows, here's the deal from Universal. When you buy 2 windows, you get 2 for free with no limit, 24 months with no payments and no interest, giving you 2 full years to enjoy the comfort before paying a dime. $500 bonus off your home improvement project, 314-334-2522 or universalwindowsdirect.com.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
46 degrees and sunny right now. Mostly sunny and very pleasant today, a high of 65. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 41. Weather sponsored by the Woodlands of Arnold Senior Living.
The Woodlands of Arnold campus offers skilled rehab, a beautiful assisted living community, and a secure memory care to keep your loved ones safe. Check us out at rspseniorliving.com. That's rspseniorliving.com.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Tax season is here, and Missouri families are already seeing the real impact of the Working Families Tax Cut Act. House Republicans are delivering real results for hardworking Missourians. According to the Council of Economic Advisors, the bill is projected to raise wages in Missouri by about $3,000 to $6,000 over the next 4 years. That's more money for groceries, gas, and greater security for your family's future. In Congress, I'm working to protect working families, strengthen our economy, and ensure you are keeping more of your hard-earned money.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
It's Cardinals preseason exhibition play today as they face the Astros. Pregame 11:55, first pitch 12:05, and you can hear the game here on your voice of the St. Louis Cardinals, KMOX.
Venezuela, the best in baseball.
Country of Venezuela captured their first title in the World Baseball Classic last night, the highlight courtesy of Fox. And so now we can focus on spring training again and get ready for the regular season, which starts next week. Cardinals open the season at home. They will be playing the Tampa Bay Rays. We're going to have the game right here on KMOX. We have a game today, Grapefruit League game today on KMOX. That's why we are only on till 11:55. We go to the guest line this morning, and joining us is the former Cardinals studio and sideline host, Alexa Datt, who is now with the Washington Nationals and actually happened to have been at the game last night in Miami. Alexa, how's it going?
Hi, Chris and Amy. Good morning. How's it going?
We're doing okay. So the atmosphere at these games, pretty incredible just watching on TV. What was it like in the building last night?
It was one of the most electric sporting atmospheres I've ever experienced. And, you know, I don't say that with any caveats, hands down. what I liked about it was the authenticity, because you had people rooting for not only a baseball team, but for a country. So it just felt like it mattered so much more. I mean, I was walking around on the concourse at Lone Depot Park. Actually, before I even got in, they were partying on the streets. They had pop-up tents. They were selling jerseys and hats and, all kinds of Latin food. And then once you got in on the concourse, they were still selling more Latin food and hats and jerseys. And everyone was also completely decked out head to toe. And then you had these impromptu drum circles and bands walking around and dance parties. I mean, it felt like a real live event, and it was almost more than just the game. It was bigger than baseball, which was just so incredibly fun. And I wish, honestly, could be the atmosphere that we experience baseball in for every game that we have.
That'd be exhausting for 162. I got to do this 162 nights.
So Dave Glover, our afternoon show, went to the Venezuela-Dominican Republic game with Tom Ackerman. And he said exactly what you said, Alexa, that the environment was so electric and so energetic without any break. It was nonstop throughout the entire game. And he said it's more than a World Series game. And with the one caveat that World Series games are different, right? Like it's a different vibe, but that this was electric for the entirety of the game with singing and yelling, and how the fans lived and died by every pitch. And he had never seen anything like that.
Amy, he's exactly right. I had 0 alcohol last night because I had to drive down and back. I'm hungover from the energy last night. I'm serious. And it's a good hungover just because of all the energy and excitement that I experienced. It was nonstop. The fact that in the crowds, everyone was gifted these wristbands that lighted up in unison. And then pregame, they had an incredible light show on the field, which I'd never seen before. Kind of similar to what you're starting to see, in the NBA and in college hoops, how they have these glass floors that, change the graphics and everyone's able to watch this show before the show. I mean, that's kind of what sports is about now, right? As much entertainment as you can get in this place. The music was going blasting through the speakers, as well as multiple bands throughout the stadium. I mean, the amount of instruments that was allowed in Lone Depot Park was incredible. And it allowed for the ability for, Venezuelans to hear songs from their home country, as well as pop songs from, here in America being played. And I think that juxtaposition was really important, because you weren't saying this just belongs to Latin players or this just belongs to American players. This is bringing both of them together, and we're celebrating that at the World Baseball Classic.
What's very cool about it, and I remember when this tournament started 20 years ago, the criticism at the time was that the Americans didn't seem to care that much about it. Just because it was like, taken away from spring. They're trying to get ready for their seasons, for their major league teams. And now they got to go play in this tournament. And a lot of guys turned it down. They didn't want to play in it. And the other countries like Venezuela and the Dominican Republic, they were really into it. And there's this tweet from Ozzie Guillen, who is Venezuelan. He's a dual citizen and, used to manage the White Sox and the Marlins. And he said, last night after the win, he said, "Damn right. This is what we Venezuelans are. Pure heart, pride in baseball. Today, it wasn't just a team that won. A whole country won. It proved that when we put on that jersey, we play with soul. We're world champions. Long live Venezuela, damn it." And that's a guy, I think for a lot of people who are playing for Dominican Republic or Venezuela, they want to prove to everybody else that not just in baseball they matter, but on the world stage they matter too. And that's just kind of the vibe I get from people like that.
Absolutely. And in certain cases, Latin American players sacrifice so much in order to come to this country and play baseball. And so it's a celebration of all the sacrifice that not only they make, but their families make as well. And I think watching that play out on the national stage, you saw that raw emotion last night when all of those players were crying. Those were real tears. And they were not only tears of joy and happiness, they were tears of all the pain and strife and all the difficulty that they've had to go through throughout their lives. But, I'm hearing a lot of criticism for Team USA and how they weren't as lively as some of the Latin teams were. And to be honest, yeah, of course, we'd love to see them have a gimmick and like Team Italy pull out some espresso and do some fun things like that. But also, the whole point of the tournament is to be authentic. And that's what stood out more than anything. So if Team USA started to do things that were inauthentic, we would call them out harder than we're calling them out for not being lively. I'm telling you, that would go more viral than anything. I mean, when Pete Crow Armstrong and Bryce Harper are saying, like, you know, kind of joking, like, we're not as cool as Fernando Tatis Jr. and Juan Soto, they're kind of also being serious because there's just a different energy that's in that dugout, and you wouldn't want them to try and replicate that. Matt Holliday said the same thing. He's like, we want these guys to be themselves and not fake it. So if your idea of what Team USA is something that should be different, well, then you're asking guys to not be who they actually are. And that's, you know, just, I think that's just going to ruin the tournament.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. It is, you should let everybody be who they are. And I thought, somebody pointed it out on Twitter today. I did not notice it in the moment last night, but Daniel Palencia, who closed the game out for Venezuela, when he had 2 strikes, and it was a strikeout to end the game, and there was a 2-strike count, and the camera focuses on his face, and he's starting to cry because he hadn't even thrown the final pitch yet, and he's
already crying.
Yeah, he's already crying because he's about to win this for his country. It just, I mean, moments like that, it's really hard to dislike the tournament in that moment.
Well, okay. And I don't know if this is a fair question. So you guys knowing the players better on Team USA, but it sounds like Team USA, like you said, they weren't as cool, you know, and maybe did they not have as much personality? Is that a baseball thing? Because in the Olympics, rather famously, Team USA hockey team had an enormous amount of personality, and they didn't have gimmicks. They had their team culture, the way that they stayed in the athletes' village, because not all teams did. Like Team Canada stayed at hotels. Team USA stayed in athletes' village. They soaked up the experience. They had this character and chemistry. Is that just different with Team USA in baseball, or did their personalities just not have an opportunity to shine through?
I think for Team USA, if they'd been dominant throughout the entire tournament, if they'd been crushing home runs, if their pitching had been, you know, lights out every single game, you might have seen a different energy being brought, because what we're taught here in the USA is winning above all else. And that really is such a mantra. So I think for that sort of energy to be brought by the team, you would have needed to see different results from Team USA, and you just didn't see those. You saw some couple of guys struggling and, you know, guys not showing up in big moments. And I think for them, they take that to heart. You know, you saw Aaron Judge in a big moment in the bottom of the 6th last night take a huge deep breath because there were nerves. This meant a lot to them too. I mean, don't get it twisted. Just because the Latin American countries are showing so much passion and emotion doesn't mean that Team USA isn't experiencing that. They're just displaying it differently. So, you know, and you're right about hockey, and hockey and baseball are completely different. But I think also the results matter, and they matter so much to Team USA that even, you know, Marco DeRosa was saying, if we were smashing homers and you were seeing these opportunities for us to celebrate all of these home runs throughout the tournament, it might have been a little bit different.
Also, you're correct, but also I think there is an American baseball culture, which has, I mean, how many times have you heard a baseball person say, put your head down, act like you've been there before. Mm-hmm. Put your head down, run to first.
Well, it doesn't encourage personality. Isn't that rather famous?
Yes. We don't, as Americans in baseball, though I think we're getting better at allowing it. For generations, it's just been, hey, don't showboat, don't show anybody up, act like you've done this, act like you've accomplished this before. Just play the game, right? And that's not what the culture is in a lot of other countries.
I totally agree with you, Chris. And that's feeding into it for sure. But there's also a natural part of that too, right? I mean, the first time I ever worked a ball game, right, and stepped onto a field, the electricity that ran through me is different than it is today when I go to the ballpark every day. And that's just natural over the course of experiencing it so much. Players who play for Team USA have experienced it more. A lot of these guys for Team Venezuela, I mean, this is their first time ever winning the World Baseball Classic. For some of these guys, it's their first time ever winning a baseball championship, period. So there is something about the experience level of winning it for the first time and doing it for your country that matters.
Amy, did you hear that? Alexa said, I totally agree with you, Chris. I think it's the first time she's ever said that.
Ever. Honestly. It's never going to happen again.
Chris came close because he
Flip
said,
it off.
He said, He said, "You're right, but."
Well,
that's about as nice as he
No,
gets.
that was an addition.
That's called negating anything I said. Amy.
No,
That's what
no,
that's
it was a it was you
Did
are
you say
correct.
He's already
correction?
defending himself.
No, no.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I'm
we
on your
go.
side, Alexa. This seems like a guy who, man, he can't. You got to admit you're wrong, brother.
So, Alexa, what are you leaving town or something? What's going on here? I hear you're leaving. I hear you're going to another team.
Yes, I am the new Nationals reporter and host in DC, and I'm thrilled to be going back home. I'm from Montgomery County, Maryland. I went to the University of Maryland, and it was an absolutely incredible opportunity. I'm grateful to the organization, and the Nationals have been incredibly welcoming. And honestly, I'm incredibly thankful to the Cardinals as well, who welcomed me in. I made history being the first female play-by-play to call spring training action. And throughout my 4 years there, they were nothing but incredibly gracious and wonderful to me. I've been lucky is the best way to say it.
So you don't want to torch anybody on your way out?
Oh my gosh, no way. I mean, the friends that you make in this game, like, listen, Wilson Contreras, now with the Boston Red Sox, former Cardinal.
It was on the
Lars
stage
Noot
last night, winning the.
Was on the stage last night. I saw
Venezuela.
him. Yep, the Nationals played Team Venezuela in an exhibition game, so I got to catch up with him about his time in St. Louis and what it meant for him to play for Team Venezuela. And he gave me that time because I experienced 4 years with him in St. Louis. That's a valuable experience that I got, that he got, that I'll carry with me throughout my entire baseball career. And that opportunity was given to me by the organization.
What about your time in St. Louis with the Cardinals? It was 4 years, as you said. What's going to really stick with you now that you leave?
The people. I mean, last night, the Cardinals and Nationals played each other in spring training game, and being able to go over and give Stubby Clapp a big hug and say hi to Ali Marmol and Daniel Descalso and John Jay and Dusty Baker and Pop Warner. It was so wonderful. Pedro Pajes gave me a big hug. I saw Lars Nootbaar last night at the WBC. He was doing some commentary and wearing a suit, looking sharp, hopefully healthy soon for the team. He can get back on the field. But it was just such a warm welcome back to be able to see so many friendly faces. Baseball's a family. You spend a lot of time together, and they treat me as such, and I'll take that with me forever.
Well, and Alexa, it seems like so far, Ranj hasn't. He's really messed me up with Newt Larsbar.
Oh,
and I'm not sure if you have accidentally said Newt Larsbar yet, but I don't even know what the real name is.
I never have, but that is very funny. And Chris, you should be nicer to both your girlfriend and your co-host.
Okay. All right. Everybody needs to calm down around here. Now I'm being attacked.
You deserve it, and it's fun.
You deserve it.
Yeah. Hey,
I
Alexa, we're going to do, I don't know if they told you yet, we're going to do a Washington Nationals hit every week. So get an update on the Nationals, probably. I think we need that.
Good.
Yeah.
Are they going to be any good?
Yeah, they're going to be good. It's going to be fun to watch. I mean, a lot of young players, similar to the Cardinals, right?
Yeah,
Same situation. You're getting to watch young players vie for playing time and a spot to, make an impact in the future for the organization.
All right. I will, we'll let you go now.
Okay.
Hey, Alexa.
I love you guys.
Okay, Alexa.
We love you.
Alexa, you better. Alexa, be safe getting back to wherever you're going.
I think I'm coming back to St. Louis.
Oh, yeah, St. Louis, and then you leave. Okay. Well,
That's
good luck. Good luck with all that.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon. That is
right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Alexa Datt, now with Nationals TV, formerly with the Cardinals, and went to the World Baseball Classic. She's in spring training right now.
That's fun.
Isn't it?
It's fun that she got to go to that game.
Yeah, man. I want to go to one of those. Now I'm ready for the season to start. A week from tomorrow, actual real Cardinals baseball is going to happen. I believe the home opener for the entire the opener for the entire season is a week from tonight. So actually Major League Baseball starts in a week. Cardinals will get started a week from tomorrow. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
And we'll be at Cardinals Nation, actually, on March 26th.
That's right.
But I have something for you on April 25th. And that is the STL Work Zone Awareness Run. They do it every year. It's right there at the MoDOT headquarters at 141 and 40. It's a really fun family event, and it is dedicated as the name implies, to promoting safety for road workers and raising awareness about work zone hazards. Really, really important right now. Of course, you're seeing the cones, you're seeing the work zones, and you have all of the men and women at MoDOT working on the roads to make the roads safer for all of us to get home, to get around town. Let's make sure we slow down in those work zones. We put our phones down so that those workers can get home safely to their family, and show them support at the Work Zone Awareness Run, the most affordable 5K in the area. It's a great location. Like I said, it's family friendly, whether you want to run, walk, jog, bring everybody, head on out to the MoDOT headquarters. To sign up, just Google SDL Work Zone 5K, SDL Work Zone Awareness Run. It'll take you right to their website where you can sign up. April 25th, the St. Louis Work Zone Awareness Run.
Many of you know that my inspiration for becoming an accident attorney was my brother Tim, who was rendered a quadriplegic at age 18. I didn't know what a personal injury lawyer was or what they did, but I soon did. Tim was treated terribly by the insurance company, and I became enraged. It was a constant delay and deny. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Tim later worked with me for 27 years. Last year, my hero died at age 65. You can see my eulogy for him by visiting mybrothertim.com. He was one hell of a man. Because of Tim, together we built the largest injury firm in the world, and our clients are treated the way I would want my family to be treated. At Morgan & Morgan, nobody is a nobody and everybody is a somebody. If you need our help, visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer. See you soon, Tim. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Join us for the Rally With Us MLB Opening Day events on March 25th, 9 to 1 p.m. at the Rally House Brentwood Point location. There'll be a live broadcast, giveaways, and the first 100 customers through the doors receive a Valley House Opening Day scratcher ticket. And don't forget to pick up your Opening Day gear while you stop in. Rally House is your home for outrageously authentic Cardinals gear, on-field hats, jerseys, and apparel straight from the source. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You can feel the Clydesdales circling the field. Hear the stands come alive. Smell the hot dogs, the popcorn, and cold beer in the air. See the crowd rise as the first pitch hits the glove. And just like that, a new season begins. The countdown is on until opening day, and tickets start at just $49. Don't miss St. Louis's favorite holiday. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/opening day.
Hot matchup, colder drinks, only at Busch Stadium when the Cardinals host the Tampa Bay Rays on Sunday, March 29th. Fans will take home a stainless steel Cardinals tumbler presented by Coca-Cola and Quick Trip, designed to lock in the cold and show off your Cardinals pride. It's the perfect companion for 9 innings and beyond. A practical addition to any Cardinals collection that'll keep you cool all game long. Tickets are available at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Nolan Gorman. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
So we have a little clarification here. So fun talking to Alexa Dat. formerly with the Cardinals, now with the Washington Nationals at spring training. She was at the World Baseball Classic
She's
final.
a nice lady.
She is. And when you were being mean, you had a bad attitude or something. I can't remember.
Me?
Yeah. And she said, you need to be nice to your girlfriend and your co-host. I just want to say those are two different people.
Yes.
Those are two different people. And it very much sounded like the girlfriend and co-host.
I think she meant to say your girlfriend, comma, and your co-host.
Yes. And you don't need a comma there, but
the Oxford comma?
They're two different people.
I guess it's not Oxford.
It's not
you need
Oxford.
3 things, right?
Yeah. But those are two different people. Ranja's girlfriend. And
you.
And then
you were
me.
different people.
We're two different people.
Okay. So that's a good clarity. That did not occur to me at all.
It occurred to me, and I wanted to say something, but I didn't know. I didn't know what I was allowed to say.
You just say I'm not the girlfriend.
I'm not the girlfriend. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, on our YouTube stream, I'm going to change the @AmyMarkscores to I'm not the girlfriend.
Not right underneath, not Chris's girlfriend. I love that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, maybe I'm changing my Twitter profile.
A texter here says we should send the Savannah Bananas to the World Baseball Classic next time. And I agree. If you're going to say, the Americans have no personality, well, there you go. Just let the Bananas go play.
Yeah. The Bananas, they walk up to the plate on stilts. Venezuela's like,
one
what?
Guy. I love that so much.
Yeah.
We had somebody who called into the station and didn't want to go on air, but asked us to, or said, did you notice that the U.S. baseball caps that they wore in the Classic, the American flag on the right side of their heads was backwards? And because they on that cap, the flag has the stars in the upper right corner instead of the upper left. That's the correct thing to do. It is it's like a military uniform. If you ever see a military uniform, the stars go forward.
Okay.
So if the military uniform has the flag on the right shoulder, the stars are in the upper right corner.
Oh, interesting.
And it's a tradition that goes back to the Civil War.
Oh, that's
so it's
very,
not
very
like
interesting.
They didn't have it wrong.
Yeah.
Trust me, I think somebody would have caught it. They wouldn't have produced all of these caps and not caught that, especially when it comes to the American flag. They're not going to screw that up.
I do know this, just in case I ever won a medal in the Olympics. I've always been prepared. When you hold the flag above your head behind you, stars in the right hand. That way you're good for pictures.
Yes. And
stars in the right hand. You always hold the stars in the right hand. So then when you're running around with the flag.
And when you put the flag on the wall and you turn it vertically, stars in the upper left.
That's good to know.
People think that you just rotate it.
But you don't.
90 degrees, and that's not what you do. That's Amy.
Yes. We're going to get to your text in the next hour, too, because you guys,
right.
Maryland Heights is coming through.
That's Amy Marks Cores. I'm Chris Ranji. Gas House Gang. None today, baby, because we have Cardinals baseball at noon on KMOX.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform developed by AmericanEagle.com has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Hi, it's Debbie Monterey with Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. Welcome back, Gloria. You know, for years now, you've been on KMOX helping families plan their next big move with your guaranteed sold program. For those planning to sell their home this year, what's your best advice?
Thank you. My advice is simple. Do your homework before listing your home. Our market is stabilizing, inventory is tightening and moving fast. In other words, the realtor you choose to sell your home really matters. That's why my sellers love my guaranteed sale program. I guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price and time frame, or I will buy it myself. I have thousands of buyers in my buyers in waiting database, so your home may already been sold before it's ever hit the market. Higher demand, more competition, and more money for your home.
Friends, if you want a realtor who will guarantee results, call the one I trust, Gloria Liu, at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's 11 o'clock. We've got sunshine and 50 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen at his confirmation hearing to become the next Secretary of Homeland Security. Senate Democrat Gary Peters questioning Mullen about comments he made after federal agents killed Alex Preddy in Minneapolis. And Mullen described Preddy as a deranged individual who wanted to cause maximum damage.
I was responding immediately without the facts. That's my fault. That won't happen as secretary.
So you regret that statement?
I already said that. Yes, sir.
Would you want to apologize to the family of Alex Preddy?
Well, sir, I just said I regret those statements.
Is that the same as an apology?
I haven't seen the investigation. We'll let the investigation go through. And if I'm proven wrong, then I will absolutely.
Fellow Republican Rand Paul reminded Mullen he said he understood why a neighbor violently assaulted Paul. He again said he spoke without knowing all the facts. Witnesses also watched a clip from a hearing in 2023 where Mullen challenged the president of the Teamsters to a fight, which had to be broken up by Senator Bernie Sanders. The head of St. Louis Community College has major concerns about a proposal to cut their state funding. Chancellor Dr. Jeff Pittman says the House Budget Committee's simplified formula counts full-time student enrollment.
It does not reflect the cost of all of these workforce programs that we recently implemented across the district. Many people are aware we have several new buildings that have gone up. We have focused on what the employers have told us they needed.
And what they needed, says Pittman, were programs in healthcare, advanced manufacturing, IT, and geospatial technology. Programs, he says, are expensive to run and equip. Under this formula, the community college could lose 20% of its state funding, and he says price people out of their education. One more step forward for a National Negro Baseball Museum in North St. Louis. The project received approval for a conditional use permit from the St. Louis Board of Public Service, which included a provision requiring the developer to be in communication with the neighborhood, some of whom have concerns about the project, mostly about parking. The museum would be built on North Spring in the Jeff Vanderloo neighborhood. Developer Guyton Harvey is aiming for a groundbreaking this fall. Americans still dig French bulldogs, retrievers, and German shepherds, but for the first time in more than 2 decades, Dachshunds among the top 5 most prevalent dog breeds in American Kennel Club rankings released today. From the KMOX business desk, the St. Louis County-owned Eagle Springs Golf Course could soon be run by a private operator. A proposal from the county executive's office would have Cloverleaf Golf Course, Inc. run the North County course, assuming responsibility for operational and maintenance expenses. Cloverleaf was one of 4 companies responding to a request for proposal. This would require county council approval.
Much nicer this afternoon with a good deal of sunshine, becoming noticeably warmer too, the high 64. Partly cloudy skies tonight, though 45. Tomorrow, some morning clouds, then turning mostly sunny and warm, the high 74. Friday, partly sunny and very warm, high 82. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
It's sunny and 50 degrees in downtown St. Louis. The weather sponsored by the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Sandberg Phoenix serves your business in litigation, intellectual property, and products liability. We're more than a law firm. We're committed to your success. Learn more at sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app. This is the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. Welcome to the Midday Midlife.
So Matt Pajeski brought up a story that he saw regarding issues people from big families might have. Like if you grew up in a big family, which is really funny because Ranj is an only child.
Yeah.
And Matt may as well be an only child.
I got my own set of problems I'm going to talk about here.
Yes, you have one sibling, Matt.
Yeah.
But it was a really interesting conversation. Of course, I grew up homeschooled. So there were 4 kids in my family, and we were the small family. There were a lot of families getting out of full-size vans that had 7, 8, 9, 10 kids. So I grew up around a lot of big families. And so a really interesting conversation.
A lot of Astro vans in your world.
Just full-size conversion vans. Joining us now to talk about that is Dr. Roseanne Kapana-Hodge. She's a licensed therapist and certified school psychologist to talk about the issues that people from big families bring up in therapy the most. Dr. Kapana-Hodge, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for bringing me in on what I hope to be a very fun conversation because families come in all shapes and sizes.
They do. And like I said, having grown up in the 80s and 90s homeschooled, like the OG homeschoolers, when there were a lot of...
You are an OG.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows a homeschooler now, but back in those days, we were weird and proud of it.
Well, I don't know that it's different now, is it?
It's just more widespread. But it was, the big families, and it felt very normal to me. And as I've gotten older, I'm thinking, wow, if you have 9 or 10 kids, how do you have time to spend time with everyone? So I guess maybe to kind of set the table, what qualifies as a big family?
Well, I think today what feels like a big family is anything more than 4 kids because it's just not as common as it used to be. With that being said, I recently had a family that came to see me that had 7 children. So there still are lots of big families, especially in homeschooling communities, in highly religious communities. And, for the issues that we think about with big families, there's beautiful things can happen in a big family. And it's not so much for any family size, the number of kids. It's really about what does it feel like at home? Is it chaotic? Is it calm? And, big families can certainly do things maybe we can't. And so the same thing could be said for smaller families, meaning that, there's a lot more built-in friends. There's a lot more ability to do things with other people, but it also comes with, less attention. And the impact of that really depends on the family and that consciousness, that nervous system, I call it co-regulation in that family more than anything else.
And I know that you mentioned here that people who are in bigger families or grow up with a lot of brothers and sisters, that there are implications for boundaries that you've set as an adult. And are we talking about personal space boundaries or, just in communication boundaries? Like what sorts of things are we talking about here? Because I am an only child, as Amy mentioned, and I think of I don't like to take people's things from them, where I feel like if you got a lot of brothers and sisters, you're constantly sharing items where you go and hey, this person has this toy, I'm going to go take it and I'm going to play with it. And, I just don't like to grab other people's stuff. So is that the kind of thing you're talking about, or is there more with communication?
Well, I think boundaries, just like you said, mean a lot of things. And I also want to say I'm married to an only, and I know what it's like in that sense that, you're not used to sharing things. But boundaries and learning how to set boundaries is actually one of the highest level emotional skills that a child and adult can have, because most parents aren't explicitly teaching boundaries. And as we all know, in adulthood, we are constantly having to set boundaries with people, from being in the grocery store, at work, or in relationships. And so kids in large families get real world practice, because you're right, they are expected to share. They're expected to do more. The families that I know that are the older children, they are often helpers in raising the other kids. And so how are we teaching our kids boundaries really shapes the boundary setting and communication and sharing and all the different ways that you mentioned. That becomes how they handle it as adults.
Now that we're talking about this, I have a specific question about boundaries, which it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with brothers or sisters that you grew up with or being an only child, but that is a term that is a lot more common, I would say, even in the last 5 years or 10 years than it used to be, where people talk about, I am setting boundaries for myself. And so I am doing this, or I am not going to do that. And I have seen some comedians address that and say there's a difference between setting boundaries and just being a jerk, where you say, well, I'm not going to go out of my way for you ever because I am setting a boundary, and that they use boundaries as an excuse to not help people. Is that real, or is that just, how do you feel about that? Does that make sense?
I mean, it makes sense to me. And I think, again, back to, what you're talking about, it's true. Are some people really inappropriate and sort of abrupt and maybe viperish when they set boundaries? Yeah. And that's because they don't know how to set boundaries. Nobody taught them the right way. And, many people feel uncomfortable setting boundaries. So then their nervous system activates. And so they come out with something that maybe they really didn't mean to say, but they don't know how to set boundaries. What we're talking about is setting healthy boundaries, right? So how can you tell somebody something that maybe you don't want to do, or you're uncomfortable with, in a way that is clear, but also empathetic, and you're still being kind. And these are the lessons we learn along the way. And, like you said, some people, they can be kind of abrupt and off-putting, and then both people walk away feeling icky.
One thing that comes up when I think about really big families, like 8, 9, or 10 kids, is just attention, and how every kid craves one-on-one time with mom and dad, or with mom or dad. And once you start getting into the numbers like 10 kids, I almost think, wow, I feel like it might be impossible for everyone to have that much attention. And every family dynamic is different, and I get that. So I would never want to ascribe good qualities or bad qualities to a family that, I don't know, just based on size. For us, again, homeschooling, there were 4 of us, and my mom stayed home, and I felt like, I got a ton of attention. Obviously, I was best friends with my siblings. I always felt like mom and dad were available. Also had some friends and families with 10 kids. And some of the experience I've seen is where, like you just said, an older child or the older kids end up kind of parenting in some ways the younger kids, because mom and dad are spread so thin. In your experience, is that always a negative thing, or can it be a positive?
I mean, for some people, it can be positive. It really, again, it all depends on how parents are doing this. Mm-hmm. And, what are they teaching? How are they empowering? And, when it comes to big families and individual attention, just to even start with that, it's not about equal time. It's always about meaningful connection, because we're all living very busy lives. And I think parents are thinking like, well, I'm with my kid, but you're both on devices. I mean, we all go out to eat, and we all see people where they're not even talking. They're on their devices the entire time, which is the sad thing. And then how are we, when you do have big families, people will have roles and responsibilities. And the positive of that is that these kids do seem to be more independent. I mean, there was a research study that came out a couple of years ago that one of the greatest indicators of success was whether your kid did chores.
Yes, that is so true. Yes.
Right. Right. And so when we are having these kids, I mean, I don't think people who have big families, there are a lot of families that set out to have big families. And I do see kids and know adults who had too much responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that balance? There's something very positive in being a nurturing caregiver. I mean, I'm a therapist. My job is to care for others, and I love it, and I couldn't be more proud. But what kind of experiences did I have along the way? And some kids, they don't want that responsibility and they struggle with it. So this is really about parenting and communication, and don't just assume because your kid's the oldest that they have to do X, Y, and Z. I mean, that can be, and that might not be a popular opinion because we still lead with, well, I'm in charge. And every behavior is about, they're being disrespectful or not. That's not the case. I mean, we're starting to really understand it's about the nervous system. What are those clues that our kids are struggling? And it could be signs of being inattentive or angry. So pay attention to kids' behaviors, and parents should intervene when they see those behaviors, and don't assume kids are doing anything on purpose.
It's interesting because, like we're saying, it always comes down to the individual family, right? And the parents themselves. And, but I don't have kids, but I'd always wanted a big family, like 4, 5, 6 kids, because I stayed involved with the homeschool community after I graduated, and I helped homeschool. And there are families that I helped that had like 6 kids. And they were a hoot. I mean, it was a circus, but it was so much fun. And the siblings were friends, and the way we did school together, or, could play games, play sports together, and just they had each other's back. Like they had a whole army, all the time that they supported each other. Again, every situation is different, but it can be a real positive. In the same way that if you have 3 siblings, 2 siblings, or 6, depending on the family dynamic, it can be really fun to have a whole team behind you.
I mean, of course. And when parents do it right, they're putting in structure, they're really emphasizing, collaboration with good communication. And, it can be an incredible thing. And like to add the homeschooling into it, right? They're really spending time together, which isn't the same because kids get separated. And there's such great benefits of, different age play and different age interactions. And I think it does overall make you more compassionate, again, when the parenting is done right.
Dr. Roseanne Campana-Hodge, we appreciate your time. Thank you for being with us today.
Oh, thank you for this great conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Campana-Hodge, licensed therapist and certified school psychologist, with us here on KMOX. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. Cardinals baseball today. The pregame show starts at 11:55. Broadcast gets going then, and the Cards have some spring training ball to play the Marlins today. You get a little taste of baseball, and it's coming for real next week.
Right,
a week from tomorrow. Where'd you say we're going to be?
Cardinals Nation, baby. 9 to 11, I'm on. Then you're on with Tom Ackerman, 11 to noon.
Also, pretty soon here, we're going to give away tickets for Spam-A-Lot.
I love it.
Spam-A-Lot at the Fabulous Fox is happening Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, and we're going to give away tickets. We'll need you to listen for your chance to win on KMOX.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love. Sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
We can be twinsies.
to
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents. So when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
For 100 years, KMOX has been a part of St. Louis. Now, those moments live on, preserved, remastered, and ready to be heard again. Discover KMOX from the Archives, a podcast featuring classic audio from a century of service.
Sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
The KMOX from the Archives podcast, available now at KMOX100.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Here in St. Louis, we take pride in supporting our health and our community. That's why more and more families are turning to Neovitin multivitamins, created by a local physician and made right here in the U.S. using the highest quality domestic and international ingredients. With formulas for men, women, and adults 50 plus, Neovitin helps keep St. Louis families energized, supported, and ready for life. Find Neovitin at your local Dierbergs, Schnucks, and online at neovitin.com. Neovitin. Trusted nutrition from St. Louis for St. Louis.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions. So it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
100 years, one legendary voice. We live KMOX's century of service, classic audio, photos, videos, and more at KMOX100.com.
Well, the text line never disappoints at 314-436-7900. Little bookkeeping here. I can't remember if I said this or not, but remember how we had a voice message about the car that we decorated in front of our building?
Right.
The abandoned car, and it got towed.
Some of our finest work.
It was our finest
Actually,
work.
anybody's finest work.
Obviously. And they said we had been on the news, and we thought, my goodness, have we resurfaced as celebrities? Charlie Brennan mentioned us on Donnybrook and the car that we decorated. That's cool.
Yeah, wow.
We were on Donnybrook.
We made Donnybrook?
Yeah.
Holy
Thank
monkey.
you, Charlie. So
Wow.
he mentioned us
When did he do this?
a few weeks ago. Bob told us.
Bob?
Bob said that Charlie Brennan mentioned the car that we decorated.
Well, I'll be damned.
I know, on Donnybrook. So I don't want to brag, but it's a pretty big deal.
Sure is.
It's a big deal.
I love it.
Also, we were talking about the short shorts that the Southwest flight attendants, who were called stewardesses at that time, they wore booty pants and tall boots. And
Booty shorts.
Yes. Well, a texter says, are you sure they weren't called hot pants and go-go boots? I think he's right. I think they were called hot pants and go-go boots.
Well, it's the same. I mean, look at them.
They were a big deal in the late 60s and early 70s.
Yes. So.
And he said he was in the shower when we were talking about it.
Whoa. Okay. All right.
I don't know.
I'm not saying we don't need to know that you're listening to us in the shower.
That means they're naked and listening to our show naked.
I have to tell you, I think that's the best compliment we can ever get, is that somebody, when they are at their most vulnerable, they are listening to this show.
Think of
their bits are out, they're washing, and they're listening to us.
I think this is what I think of.
There's nothing more intimate than listening to something naked.
Well, that's to the point. If you think of all the things that you do naked, and one of them is listening to the Chris and Amy show, that's a huge compliment.
That's a huge compliment to us.
Yes.
So I'll take that. Thank you. And
maybe we should put that in the promo.
maybe
you
we
could
should do a
listen to them
remote.
naked.
Let's do a remote at his house.
Well,
we could be out in the living room and he can go in the bathroom and do whatever and leave the door open and hear us talking. I think that'd be great.
What if the steam messes with our broadcasting equipment?
We'll be in the living room. We're not going to be in the bathroom with him.
It'd be crowded.
Yeah, way too crowded and steamy. Yeah, that's really something. Okay.
I love that he texted. Yes, I was in the shower, but aren't they called hot pants?
Well, in the shower thinking about hot pants in this show. Love it.
And let's see. Oh, we also, our producer, we had a caller very upset. Matt, the producer, would you be able to reference back to the Maryland Heights call? Because he was upset.
He was upset that we didn't talk about the Home Depot that was not built in Maryland
That's
Heights,
right.
but he wants one there.
Yes, and he said he has told us over.
How many Home Depots should we have per
You
capita?
can never have too many Home Depots.
At least once
Yes,
more.
you can.
I don't think so.
Here's Scott from Maryland Heights.
Hey, Chris and Amy, this is Scott in Maryland Heights. Not quite moved out yet, but can you tell me why every municipality around us has a Walmart, a Home Depot, a Target, a Lowe's, restaurants? In Maryland Heights, they don't have any of that. I've asked you repeatedly, get a hold of the mayor and ask why the hell Maryland Heights can't build up the 141 Howard Ben Levy district.
Okay, so my response to that is we have like 80-something municipalities. We need to have a Home Depot in every one of them. A Home Depot is the kind of place that you should have to travel a bit to get to.
I don't think
you
so.
shouldn't live next door to a Home Depot. It's the same as
Well-
living next door to a data center.
No, that's not true. I love Home Depot, and I don't even know how to do anything that Home Depot sells. I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? But I love going to Home Depot. I bought my first snow shovel at Home Depot. I bought a broom at Home Depot, and the first thing I did when I got my house is I bought one of those 5-gallon Home Depot orange buckets because I feel like you're not a homeowner until you have a bucket.
Okay.
So I have a Home Depot bucket. At any rate, what's going on with Maryland Heights? You know, Scott wants us to ask the mayor, but we have gotten several texts. A 314 texted in, ask Brian. And then another.
Brian, the Maryland Heights inspector.
Yeah, and another 314 texted in, ask Brian.
Everybody wants us to ask Brian, the Maryland Heights inspector.
And a 314 says, Maryland Heights doesn't have a Walmart because they make so much money from the casinos. They don't need a Walmart. The road maintenance guy told me many years ago that he had enough money to repave all the streets every 10 years.
Wow, because of the casinos.
That's what he says.
See a real boon to the economy there in Maryland Heights. So I would say to anybody who wants there to be a Home Depot in Maryland Heights, just go to the casino and put it all on black.
618 says if Home Depot would serve beer, it would be like going to Disneyland. I will say that one time when I was probably too old to do this, I was at Home Depot with my parents and they were walking around. I don't know. Like I said, I have no skills. I love Home Depot, but I have no skills, building skills. But they do have sometimes patio furniture set up.
Mhm.
And there was this gazebo.
And you would sit in them.
And they had a rocking, gliding swing.
Yeah.
I sat in there for 45 minutes. It was so nice.
You know, it's not a hangout place.
Well, you said you think
I want hangout places.
That's
I don't
right.
need. That's Home Depot's
Yes,
not
it
one of
is
them.
you know,
You're supposed to look at it, test it out, buy it or not, and then leave.
Francis, Home Depot is the reason my parents have Francis, you know, the puppy that
Uh-huh.
I bought them for Christmas 5 years ago because I went to Home Depot and there was this cutest little puppy. And I said, what is that? And they said, it's a mini Aussie doodle. And it only gets to be about 12 pounds. It's for like if you have anxiety and it doesn't bark. And so I bought the dog for my parents. And guess what? They told me the wrong breed. I think they had a toy mini Aussie doodle because the one I got is 30 pounds, has anxiety and barks.
Gino is watching on YouTube, says, yeah, the casino pays for all of our trash pickup as well. Great. So the casino has real benefit. And Robert is watching on YouTube, says, I am also naked. I always listen naked. Now, we don't need to. All right.
Okay. This is.
You don't need to listen to the show naked,
You
but
don't
if you
have
do,
to.
it's okay.
You can.
You don't need to be ashamed.
A 314 says Home Depot, the number one contributor to the Republican Party, second only to Walmart. There you go, Amy. That you get you some credit with the people that are mad at you. Well, everybody's mad at me.
I'm mad at you right now.
Ronj is mad. Democrats don't like me. Republicans don't like me. I live alone on an island, and that's where I'll die.
Speaking of, we were talking about championships earlier in the show. The World Baseball Classic,
yes,
was last night, and Venezuela won. And I did not see this tweet until today. I'm not sure how I missed it, but the president, he tweeted out as soon as they won last night, in all caps, statehood, because he wants to make Venezuela a state. So his first thought is not congratulations. It's we should turn them into a state, the 51st state. I thought Canada was going to be the 51st state, because he
I love Canada.
He also tweeted back when Venezuela, this was a couple of days ago, beat Italy. He says Venezuela defeated Italy tonight. And I say tweet, I mean Truth Social. This is where he posted it. In the World Baseball semifinal. They're looking really great. Good things are happening to Venezuela lately. I wonder what this magic is all about. Statehood number 51, anyone? So you can't, well, which is it? You're going to make Canada the 51st state? Is it going to be Greenland, or is it going to be Venezuela? You can't have them all.
Listen,
they all can't be 51.
Enough was said yesterday by the president that 100% warrants multiple 25th Amendment conversations. But of course, that's not going to happen because his cabinet has to be on board, and you could 25th every single cabinet member. At any rate, that's not going to happen. But going back to Maryland Heights, where the people are livid, a 314 says, if they've got all that money, then why is the entire Dorset Road a war zone of potholes?
I don't know what to tell you. You need to call somebody. Call your state senator. They could probably take care of it.
I don't know. What if Maryland Heights is our new cause?
Hey, what was Jack Hughes mad about, Amy?
He found the puck, the gold medal winning puck. It's at the Hockey Hall of Fame. And he wants to know, why do they have that puck? That is bull.
He wants it for himself. He wanted to give it to his pops.
Did he?
Yeah, he said he wanted to give it to his dad. His dad would really like it.
Oh.
Well, I mean, that's nice and everything.
He should have
but
given it to his mom.
Isn't that America's puck?
It is America's
It should be
puck.
America's. Screw you, Jack Hughes. That's America's
But
puck.
the Hockey Hall of Fame's in Toronto.
Well, but we're representing America.
No, I think
The
Jack
puck
Hughes
is,
should have the puck.
Oh, you think he should?
Yeah, it should be in...
It belongs in a museum.
It belongs in a museum.
It does not belong in Jack Hughes' dad's house.
It doesn't belong in Toronto.
Why not?
It's Canada.
It's the hockey mecca.
51st state?
That's
Or
no,
Venezuela?
no. Venezuela
Oh, that's
is.
right. I forgot.
Yeah.
Hard to keep up.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. And by the way, there is an artificial intelligence thing that has made me sick. Just absolutely sick. And I'm going to tell you about it when we come back on KMOX.
Hey guys, it's Dave from The Glover Show, trying to explain The Glover Show. So when I was a younger man, I used to go to happy hour almost every night, and I loved it. And I've always thought of my show as being like happy hour. It's always interesting. It's often silly, but not always. You know, there are real things to talk about. I am amongst friends, politics, and personal things. So that's what it is, really. It's happy hour for thousands of us every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. And I hope you'll tune in and join the happy hour.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It's beautiful outside Studio B, 52 and sunny, and it will stay that way. Sunny, pleasant, a high of 65. Get outside if you can. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 41. Weather sponsored by the St. Louis Work Zone Awareness 5K and 1 Mile Fun Run.
Help us raise awareness for safe driving as the construction season kicks off with the St. Louis Work Zone Awareness 5K and 1 Mile Fun Run, Saturday, April 25th in Chesterfield. And please buckle up, phone down so we all get home safe. Brought to you by Missouri Coalition for Roadway Safety.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call me, Lance Drury, in St. Louis at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Larry Older here. You know, one of the most rewarding parts of sharing Relief Factor with you is hearing real stories like that of Sandra. She tells us, I've been hearing about Relief Factor on the radio for a couple of years, and I finally decided to try it because nothing else was helping my back pain. I know the feeling. With a 3-week quick start, she said, I went for it. Now I feel like a new person. That's Sandra's own words, and it's so gratifying to hear. I've told you about my brother Kirk having difficulty going up and down the stairs in the morning. He wouldn't listen to me. I told him to take Relief Factor. He finally did. Began moving better, feeling stronger. Too bad he didn't listen earlier. Try it for yourself. The 3-week quick start. And see how Relief Factor could be your game changer too. It is only $19.95. Think about it. Do the math. Less than $1 a day. So call 800-4RELIEF. That's 800, the number 4RELIEF, or go to relieffactor.com. All one word, relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? 800-4RELIEF, relieffactor.com.
St. Louis's unofficial holiday is almost here. It's Cardinals opening day, Thursday, March 26th. And KMOX's Cakes and Eggs, presented by Budweiser, is back. This year with a new twist. You don't need a ticket to enjoy KMOX's live broadcast at Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village, featuring Cardinals alumni, front office personnel, special guests, and so much more. First come, first serve. Doors open at 9 a.m. Celebrate opening day with dirt cheap Budweiser and Rally House. More info at KMOX.com/events. It's Cardinals preseason exhibition play today as they face the Astros. Pregame 11:55, first pitch 12:05. And you can hear the game here on your voice of the St. Louis Cardinals, KMOX.
Well, it's time, baby. We have tickets to see Spamalot at the Fabulous Fox. And the Fabulous Fox did give us these tickets to give away to you. We will allow you an opportunity now to win them. And this is how it's going to work. We need caller number 6 to the contest line at 314-955-1120, 314-955-1120. Spamalot, Monty Python's Spamalot is coming. And that will be May 5th. So Cinco de Mayo, if you win those tickets, you can go. That's what you could do for Cinco de Mayo. That'll be a lot of fun. So good luck. 314-955-1120, caller number 6. We'll get to go.
Do you know, in 2018, I and my friend Noah, everybody knows Noah, we were on an international flight. And we were waiting in Newark to hop across the ocean. And we decided, you know what? It's 9 a.m, but we're traveling. We're at an airport. So let's get margaritas. And we did. And it also happened to be May 5th.
Oh.
But we didn't know that. And so every year on May 5th, we get margaritas, but make sure we clarify it's not for Cinco de Mayo. It's just a tradition that we started. And everyone's like, everyone gets margaritas on May 5th. I'm like, no. This is just we have.
It's like saying I get pizza every 3/14, every March 14th. Yes. I get pizza, but it's nothing to do with Pi Day.
Yes,
that's ridiculous.
We get margaritas on Cinco de Mayo, and we're like, no. This is just a tradition, a travel tradition. It was kind of funny because it's stupid. That's why it's funny, because we're idiots.
It is very, very stupid and funny.
March Madness.
Yep. What about it?
I was naming stupid things.
Oh, March Madness, I think, is actually kind of brilliant. And we want you to vote in our Thirst 4. As our tournament has begun, we're looking for the best bar in the St. Louis area. And so we have our Thirst 4 matchups going on right now. Vote on them. Follow us on Twitter first, at Chris Amy KMOX. Get yourself on Twitter, then follow us, and then vote in the contest, because you're going to decide, the listener is going to decide the best bar in the St. Louis area. So we have our Thirst 4 matchups.
Yep.
Right now it is Trainwreck in Rock Hill versus Trainwreck in Westport. We have Hurricanes in Collinsville up against the Pump House in Wood River. The Post Maplewood takes on the Post Fenton. And then Sasha's Wine Bar on DeMun is going up against Hooters South County.
That's a tough one. And here's the thing. I always thought this was Hooters Maryland Heights, because Maryland Heights, they were complaining about what they don't have. And I thought they had a Hooters. There's a Hooters off of Lackland Road, but I don't know if that counts as St. Louis and not Maryland Heights. Someone who knows, please let me know. Because
this is the one by Westport.
Mm-hmm.
We, at the old sports show, we did remotes there at that very location.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still open.
Oh, it's open.
It is?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, it didn't make the tournament. It was snubbed.
No, but let us know, because I think if you're in Maryland Heights and you don't have a Home Depot, but you do have a Hooters, you don't complain. You have a Hooters.
Yeah,
what more could you want?
What a great point.
Thank you.
Calling about there not being a Home Depot.
You have Hooters.
You don't need a Home Depot in every municipality. So I saw this thing on Variety, Variety.com, which covers entertainment, primarily movies and TV and stuff like that. And Val Kilmer, who passed away last year, just a really good actor and appeared to be a very nice guy. And I loved everything he was in. And pretty much every character he played in every movie, every role, he was really good in those roles. Well, this one, though, I just cannot get down with it. There is a movie that is coming out called As Deep as the Grave, starring Val Kilmer, which he agreed to be in this film back in 2020. So 5 years before he passed away, he agreed to be in this film. However, he was too sick to ever make it to set because he was dealing with throat cancer, which eventually ended his life. And the director and writer of the film, and the movie is about Father Fenton, who is a Catholic priest and Native American spiritualist, and Val is playing this part.
The main guy?
The main guy. It's all AI. So because he can never make it to set, it's just artificial intelligence Val Kilmer in the entire movie.
So they started making it after he died?
So here's what the director says. Court Voorhees. I don't know if I pronounced the first name correctly. I'm not sure I've heard of this person. But he says this: he was the actor I wanted to play this role. It was very much designed around him. It drew on his Native American heritage and his ties and love to the Southwest. I was looking at a call sheet the other day, and we had him ready to shoot. He was just going through a really, really tough time medically, and he couldn't do it. So because he did not shoot a single scene they went through with the movie, they used state-of-the-art generative AI. His estate, Val Kilmer's estate, is on board with this. So his family said, yeah, go through with it, because Val would have been on board with it, because he was supportive of emerging technologies. So his daughter, Mercedes, his son, Jack, supportive of this. And the director again goes on to say his family kept saying how important they thought the movie was and that Val really wanted to be part of this. He really thought it was an important story that he wanted his name on. It was that support that gave me the confidence to say, okay, let's do this. Despite the fact some people might call it a controversial, this is what Val wanted. So, all right. As I said at the very beginning, loved Val Kilmer as an actor. Really, really did. Enjoyed everything pretty much that he was in. I'm sorry, man, but once you die, that's it. It's over. I hate that. I wish that he was gone too soon, and I would love for him to still be on this earth delivering performances in movies. I would love it. It would be great. But nature said no. And you're out, man. This is one of those things. Maybe if it were a very brief moment where he appears on film and it's part of a previous role, and it's important to the story because it's a continuation of, I don't know, let's say I know in the most recent Top Gun, he does appear in it. He did act in the recent Top Gun, and spoiler alert.
But here's the thing, though. His voice in that movie was all AI. So when he is talking in Top Gun to Tom Cruise,
but he doesn't talk at all, does he?
He does. Yeah.
I thought he was using.
No. He talks in the movie, but it's AI recreated his voice. They used a system called Sonantic.
Okay, so I don't recall him actually speaking. I thought he was writing down or typing what he wanted to say.
He talks like, I've seen it like 10 times.
Okay.
He goes like this, and he talks. And so Sonantic used an AI model trained on archival audio recordings, and then was able to accurately reproduce his speaking patterns.
Okay.
And then also, a strained voice.
I don't know that I have a problem with that because he's still in the film. He's still appearing in the movie physically. You see him. But there's something about completely recreating a person.
Yeah.
And then having his entire role be filmed with actors around him, and he's just artificial intelligence. I can't do it. And I think once you've passed, that's it. Again, let's say it's a continuation of a story from before, and you're in it for a split second or a couple of seconds, but it's important to the story. But maybe there was a previous film that you were in, and this is just a sequel to that, where they need you for a couple of seconds. Okay, fine. I can get down with that. But an entire movie that is based around you, and you didn't film a second of it, and you've been dead, and they just create your likeness. I'm out, man. I am out on stuff like that.
We knew that this was eventually going to come, and I'm just saying because we knew it was the trajectory of AI being used in movies. One of them being Princess Leia, right? Where she died, Carrie Fisher died, and they had to use AI generated Princess Leia for the Rise of Skywalker. And
so that to me is okay because how much was she in the film? Not very much.
I mean,
not really. She wasn't the central figure.
She wasn't the central figure, but I mean, it was enough that she was important in the film.
But the movie to me was already established, and I don't think you need to recast somebody else. She's an iconic character in all of film, not just the series, but she's Princess Leia. Everybody knows who Princess Leia is. You can't have a new Princess Leia. You couldn't do it. So unless you had some sort of technology to do it. And I think even then it's a little weird, but that to me makes sense. We're talking about a brand new film that is not a continuation of something else. This character is completely unknown to the public, and you're going to cast somebody who's not alive? No.
And
I'm out.
And I think I did actually mess up because I think with Princess Leia, they used archived footage.
Okay, but I mean,
you know what I mean? It
whatever
wasn't AI.
it was.
I don't think it was AI. I think it was archived footage. So this is not archived footage. They're literally creating with AI images of Val Kilmer that never existed and don't exist.
Like what they did with, if you remember the movie The Crow from the 90s, Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son, is the main character in the film. He is the lead actor. And in the middle of shooting that movie, an accident on set, he was shot with a gun that had a projectile in it. It wasn't a bullet. It was just a mistake, and he was killed on set. They used some film that he had already shot and was part of the movie earlier. They kind of superimposed, that's not the right word, but they superimposed a few seconds of him walking down a hallway into the film. I have no problem with that because he was there on set doing the movie. He just didn't get to finish the movie. That's different than, hey, I have this actor in mind for this movie I want to create, and he's no longer around, but I'm going to use him anyway. That's like saying I'm going to take John Wayne. I'm going to make a John Wayne movie right now.
So,
and I'm going to make an artificial intelligence John Wayne movie, and feature length. No,
yeah, I get that. What about though? And I'm just saying this because AI is a huge concern. There's that one AI actress, quote unquote, and of course you can't get the nuances of humanity and experience in AI. But what if, like Ryan Gosling says, yeah, for $100 million, I will sell my name, image, and likeness to this AI company, and Sony can make a movie with Ryan Gosling, even though Ryan Gosling is alive and healthy, but he doesn't act. It's just they've made an AI movie with him because that could happen.
Yeah, I know.
That might have already happened for commercials for all I know.
And I don't like it.
But
I don't like it. That bothers me. I don't even like when they did the Tupac hologram at
I didn't like that. Yeah.
At a halftime show. That was, come on. Just
I don't
we don't
like
need
it
to
at
do
all.
all this. And it's not even necessarily about the fact that there's an actual working actor out there who won't get a role. But that is part of it. It's just it's disgusting. It's gross. As much as I liked Val Kilmer, we can't resurrect somebody and have them be the star of a movie. It's time to move on, and I cannot stress enough how much I like the guy, but I don't want him in new movies.
Yeah.
I don't want him starring in new movies. I want real actors in them.
Well,
To me, it doesn't matter that he would want to still be in this movie. I'm sorry, man. You're not around for it. You're gone. You don't get to. And I hate the path that we're moving down because of it.
I had to make a very convincing argument.
Well,
I will say, going right back to Maryland Heights, someone said the Hooters can't be in Maryland Heights because the guy said that Maryland Heights doesn't have any restaurants.
We need to get the mayor on stat. Show will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Hope you come back for it. Anything you missed on the Odyssey app, KMOX.com, or wherever you get your podcast. Cardinals baseball is next.